Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Oh, good evening, everyone. Oh, y'all looking good. Okay, before we get started, I would like to have a moment of silence for the passing of just a great guy, man, all the way around, Deacon Harper from Gethsemane Baptist Church, and also Leanna Hicks. If you guys do not know who Leanna Hicks is, of course, of our library, right? One of the founding members of the Friends of the Library, and her arrangements will be this Tuesday and Wednesday. So we will definitely have those posted for you all if you want to pay your respects. But we could please have a moment of silence. Thank you. Pastor Willie. Jay Cooper, would you please come and lead us in prayer? Thank you.
Let us look to the Lord in prayer. We thank you, Heavenly Father. We glorify you and we magnify you and we exalt you this evening. We thank you, above all, for your Son, our Lord and our Savior, Jesus Christ. We thank you for this council. We thank you for the mayor, the council members, and all the residents of Inkster. We thank you for this opportunity to come together. We pray, Heavenly Father, you would bless those bereaved families. Bless them with your wisdom and your knowledge and your understanding so they might be able to accept your will. And we will be so very, very careful to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. For it is in Jesus' name we pray and give all thanks. In Jesus' name, amen, and thank God.
Amen. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Watley.
Present.
Councilman Chisholm.
Present.
Councilman Shaw.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Here.
Councilman Williams.
Here.
And Councilwoman Washington. For the record, Mayor Wimberly,
Here.
you have 5 councilmen present and a quorum.
All right, I know Councilwoman Washington said that she would be running about 7 o'clock, so she is coming in being in attendance for tonight. So we'll just mark her as such when she gets into her seat. All right, approval of the agenda.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second? Is there a second? All right. As it relates to the agenda, if this body is okay with, I would like to allot some time to our just the best representative in the whole wide world, the Honorable Jewel Jones, to speak to us tonight on whatever he wants to bring before this body. Under presentations, also, too, we have our president from the Rec Commission here, Sawana Butts, to speak on a couple of things that she'd like to bring before this body. Is that okay with everyone? All right. Yes. Anything else? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, presentations. Honorable Jewel Jones.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Hey, I just put a peppermint in my mouth. I'm happy to be here, as always, to say not a whole lot going on right now. It's kind of the same update as last time. They're still concerned kind of about this election, some of my colleagues. So we've been campaigning harder than ever, I guess, right now. And of course, I'm getting behind our governor. They just recently had a debate the other day. Not sure if you all got a chance to check it out. So they are working at trying to unseat our governor. I'm sure she's not going to have an issue. Many of our Democratic colleagues won't have an issue also. Been talking with Dylan Wegler, who's our incoming state representative, so we can have a smooth transition. Supposed to be sitting down with him sometime soon. Thanks for do the connect through our own Councilman Chisholm. And outside of that, from the meeting that we had back in July or August, I believe, with the Speaker of the House, they committed to doing some funding for us. We just got our first request close to $1 million, about $750,000, to do some replacements, infrastructure-wise. But there's millions of dollars on the way to the city through our next supplemental. So thanks to the hard work of the mayor, some other officials that were there, we'll be having some extra support out here in Inkster on the way out of office later this year. So looking forward to that. But if you all have any questions, I'm definitely willing to answer them.
And just let me just say this, Honorable Jones, we really thank you, man, for all your work and dedication to the city of Inkster. You have been a tremendous asset to our community, and we love you. Let me just say this. The $750,000 that we were able to get appropriated in the budget is going to go towards sidewalks replacement in the city of Inkster. So we know that that the city's responsible for, if you have a tree in front of your house between the sidewalk and the curb, that the city is responsible for replacing that, and everybody else would have had to take on that burden on their own. So we want to, with the hard work of Jerome Bivens and his crew, and he's always working diligently to get things done, we're gonna make sure that we identify those properties that need to have that kind of like that supplemental,
Right.
to be able to make everybody's free.
That's right.
In the city of Inkster. So thank you, man. That's great work.
Yeah, and thank you all too for responding so quickly on that. Thank you, Director Bivens, responding so quickly on that ask when they sent it out. So I definitely appreciate that, because they willing to give us the money. We just gotta be willing to receive it.
Yeah, I like that.
All right.
Anything else from anybody else?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. All right, Madam President.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. How are you guys this evening?
How are you?
I'm great, thank you. So I am Ashana Butts, Commissioner Ashana Butts, on behalf of the Parks and Recreation Department, and today we have another member of the city that would like to adopt a park, and that will be our Brookside Park here on Carlisle. We have Tony Dooley Jr. here and his company Never Change. We have a young man that's interested in being active in the community, and we would like to support him with doing so. He has addressed the board. We have addressed every situation that's come about in regards to previous events, and we are all happy with what has been discussed. So would you like to say a few words, Mr. Dooley? To let the board, the council know what you would like to do? And
Yes, good evening.
Evening.
Like I said, I want to again apologize to the council for the past situation that's been going on with that park, for the pace, the movement of which everything has happened with that event that happened on the 28th. It was a successful event. Like I said, we plan to adopt that park and keep building on with it outside of that event. Shelters up there, trash cans, maintain upkeep, just bring it back to life. And since that event, it has been people up there, and I just feel like we just want to keep building on with that, and I just want the council support with adopting that park and maintaining it.
All right. Anything else from anybody? All right. Thank you very much.
hey, can I just add really quick?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
So Parks and Recreation is going under a massive revamp. The rec center looks amazing. It's looking a lot better. It feels a lot better. People are buzzing in. Please, please, please check out the rec and tell everybody to go. But also we have a survey that we're doing. We're trying to get some projects taken care of for some grant money. We would like the city's input. So we would like all the council people for your districts, if you can pass or push to do the survey. It's online. I've tagged, I think, all the council people on the survey, as well as printed out ones here. I passed them out to the members in the audience. If we could just keep pushing this, we need as much money as possible. We have beautiful parks. We want to keep them that way. So, thank you.
Okay, Mayor.
You're
I do
having a
have
meet.
question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, ma'am.
When is the rec center open?
So we are back to our regular business hours. There is always activity there. I believe we open up at 10 and we close at 8, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Whenever the kids finish up, if there's a game going, it may run past 7. 10 to 7, and we are open on weekends, and we're just looking for more people to attend and get some more activity going.
Okay, because I think a lot of people are under the impression that it's by appointment, because
Yeah.
that's what came out.
I got you.
And Inkster is
That's
like
it.
this giant gossip thing. You started over here and it's there by noon.
That's right.
You know, so-
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened, Councilwoman, because after you had mentioned at the last council meeting, I went over and just kind of talked with, of course, our Parks and Rec director sitting right here, Daryl Green, and our treasurer, at the same time, the people that's on the ground there. And when you walk up to the complex, it actually has a sign that says by appointment only, and this is the number to call. So we're in the process of changing that number over and, you know, putting actual stuff on the doors as it relates to the park's hours, and then, of course, the number to contact.
Okay, because this request requires people know that they don't have any restrictions other than any they impose on themselves, other than
Correct.
that, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm just calling, because people call us all the time and say, why isn't this, why isn't that? So we just want some concrete information to relate to the residents.
Well, we are definitely open.
Okay,
We have resources and we have classes that are starting for adults and children. So things are getting very active up there. And
Okay.
check out the new renovations. They look really good.
okay.
So, and let me just say this before you leave, just on that note. So as it relates to inviting the council out, we're going to do that, to invite the council out to do a walkthrough, but we haven't finished with all the renovations as of yet. Of course, we just, you know, wanted to open back up the doors and get in there, but it's a few things, and if you know me, I'm just really just sitting there just picking at stuff, so I'm working with the contractor to make sure all those things are done before you guys come back in. So, hopefully within the next 30 days, we'll be having kind of like a grand reopening of the complex.
Okay.
Okay, sounds great.
All right, the other part of that is that you guys are actually meeting this,
This Thursday at 6 p.m. It will be
everybody
posted-
can come, right?
Yes.
We'll give their input and all this, I know it, but I just want you
Yes,
to.
of course,
say that.
yes. It will be posted on the website. It will be Thursday, 6 p.m. We will be
Okay.
having a meeting in regards to the parks and what we want to add, change, and et cetera.
This is the parks plan,
Okay.
be good. Need your input.
Okay?
Cool.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
All righty. All right, moving right along. Boards and commissions, anyone?
Chairman,
Please.
I'd like to reappoint Noah Womack back to the beautification committee.
There's second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. Anybody else?
Did we skip the consent
Mr. Me-
agenda?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, Councilwoman Wiley has the floor. Speak up, ma'am.
Did we skip the consent agenda?
Oh, I did. You know what? I'm always moving so fast, y'all. Sorry.
Trying to get
I
out
was,
of here.
I was trying to get to the agenda because it's a long one.
Okay.
You want to, let's do that one. You want to make a motion for the consent agenda?
No, because I'm gonna vote no on it.
Do we have a motion for the consent
So
agenda?
moved.
Is this a second? All right, give me, you want to discuss anything?
No, I'm just, really, I have a problem with our attorney fees. And
Okay.
so I can't,
Okay, but we definitely need to.
because I don't recall getting anything that outlined them.
Okay, okay. So we definitely, David, you heard that. Let's get the detailed bill to the council, out to the council through the clerk. Okay, we'll just make sure we follow up. So let's just do a phone call, clerk, once that happens, to everybody to make sure that they have it, because that's very important, especially with everything that we're dealing right now with the litigation. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays?
Nay?
Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, sorry about that, guys. Back to boards and commissions. Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor,
Ma'am?
what's gonna happen, I know you said that we was gonna try to start out like EDA,
Yep. We're doing that. We're getting close.
Close?
Yes, ma'am.
and
Yes,
TIFA.
yes, ma'am. Definitely. I know me and you supposed to be on the TIFA, so I'm supposed to be there with you, so I apologize. So.
Yeah, but we haven't had a meeting because we haven't had any agenda, we just had that one meeting for the bond.
Right.
And that was back when Darren was, but we don't have meetings because we don't have anything to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, we need to start getting.
I think some of those things have fallen off as it relates to the TIFA and monies that was allocated in the TIFA. So we should probably have an update. So,
Okay.
Mr. Green, if you could, please, let's call a meeting of the TIFA board to give us an update on, just the bonds and everything that's happening and the debt and all of that, so we know where we're at. Okay?
Because I don't even know if we have a quorum. I'm not sure if all the members are still present. That's
Okay.
on this, so maybe.
We'll
we have
do
to
that.
kind-
Me and Verna will do that. Verna, I'll work with you on that. Me and Safe, and we'll, if we need to call and see who's on the board, who's interested, who's not, who shouldn't be.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And the DDA is definitely getting close, so we're almost there.
All
Okay.
right, that's all I have, thank you.
All right, anyone else? Ma'am, Councilwoman Washington?
With Parks and Rec, since we, just talked about the Parks and Rec, I know in the past we talked about the Parks and Rec Youth Commission. Do we have a plan of bringing this back? Because I know that it looked like it's been expired since 2018. So I guess that's a question for us or for Parks and Rec on if they're gonna come. I mean, it's up to us because it's in our districts, but
Yep.
do we actually plan on bringing this Parks and Rec Youth Commission back?
Yeah, if you recall, I did challenge each one of us to appoint a youth person to the board. So it's just really just starting it. So, each one of us, again, let's, do our due diligence and see who we can get out of those districts to serve alongside our, appointees for the Parks and Rec Commission. Because the youth, of course, is the future. So we definitely want to make sure, but you just can't have one. So we need all of us to get together and get a person.
Is it an age? What is the age?
It was 14 to 24. So any youth that wants to get involved, I mean, this is for everyone here too. You may, sons, daughters, you may know somebody that you think is outstanding that can have impact, that want to have impact, that, our youth is what it is. We want you guys to recommend those people, bring them right into the clerk's office. And, we'll go from there. Let's start building that board. And Madam President, maybe you can help us with that too, leading the charge on that. Okay?
Mr. Mayor?
Ma'am.
I'm sorry,
No, you're
but
welcome.
we may want to contact the schools in our area.
See, that's why I actually like you. All right, let's do that.
I knew you were gonna get mad, so I didn't ask you first.
Okay, Steve, you gonna take that? You gonna give it? I'm sorry. We got a long ways to go. That was a good one. All right. Anything else? All right. Let's get it on. Getting off into new business. Madam Clerk?
So item 9A is to consider approval of the 2023 City Council meeting schedule before you.
So moved.
Moved and properly second. Any discussion? Everybody did look at those dates, because we'll come up and say that we didn't see it.
Maybe she should put the time next time.
We will be, we're gonna put the time in there at bold, 6 p.m. notice. All right,
It's just a one-pager.
all right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. Item B, please.
Consider approval of special land use for a proposed adult-use marijuana retail establishment at 30007 Michigan Avenue with the conditions outlined in the planner's June 29, 2022 review letter and the revised planner's July 14, 2022 review letter.
Purpose of discussion. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, discussion. Mara, please go ahead. Lead us off.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me. I'm Mara Bratuszewski. I represent the planning department. Good to see you out there. I love the sign. So whoever decorated the sign for the city for Harvest, fantastic job.
Bivens.
Mr. Bivens.
And Mrs. Triplet.
Oh, Mrs.
Well, the
Tripp.
new triplet, so is Joyce.
Hey.
Blandon. Yeah.
Love it. It was good. Thank you. So you are familiar with this project. You've seen it already on August 15th, 2022. City Council reviewed and recommended denial of a special land use in front of you today for an adult use marijuana retailer located at 30007 Michigan Avenue. The subject site is in the B3 General Business District, which caters to more regional commercial uses, and it permits an adult use retailer operation subject to consideration of a special land use. The reason why you are seeing this project again today is the zoning ordinance guides City Council. City Council does have the final authority to recommend or deny a special land use, but the zoning ordinance requires that City Council provide findings of fact if you issue a denial. And no findings of fact were issued during the denial, so we have to reconsider it. And another reason for reconsideration today is the applicant has amended their project a little bit. They are providing a coffee shop and decreasing their footprint of the marijuana use. The applicant here is today to represent their project if we have any questions.
Do we have the,
Hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do have it. Yep, we do have it. Yep, and we'll make sure that we can go through them if we do.
Okay.
Okay. All right, good. Councilman Williams?
I don't know, do you have any plans to implement the plans? I would like to see the plans. That was one of the things they did not have.
So come on up, guys. Come on up.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Maura. I appreciate you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I want to begin by thanking you all for being here with us. I'm going to start by passing out a social equity plan for everyone.
I know. He already there already. Those should all go to the clerk, guys. Tip, go ahead. Come on, cause we got a long time. We got a long meeting. So let's just come on. But typically it goes to the clerk. Thank you. Appreciate it. All righty. Thank you. Turn that around to your audience as well, please. You do your job doing that, man.
Thank you so much, everyone, for having us here today.
Order, please. Order, please.
And
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor, and thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to begin by introducing myself. My name is Sajud Hamadi. I've come before you a few times in the past. I'm one of the founding partners of H&H Law, and my specialization is cannabis licensing and compliance. To give you a little bit of a history of myself, I have a long history of working in the cannabis industry, both at the legislative, the administrative, and the municipal level. I began my legal career working at the leading law firm in the state of Michigan under one of the leading cannabis attorneys in the entire country. My success rate at the state level is 100%, and I gave you guys a little bit of a rundown just to explain that my clients brought me on not just to get them licensed and then turn my back on the community and on the establishment. They brought me on to make sure that they remain in compliance with not just the state rules and regulations, but also with the expectations of the city of Inkster, which is very important to us. About a month ago, we came here with a slightly different project. We're back because we've switched things up a little bit, and back in the day, we were here just for the retailer. Now that we're here, back again, we're here to show you guys our new project, which is, in addition to the retailer, we're gonna have a really nice cafe that'll serve not just coffees, cappuccinos, and lattes, but also smoothies and juices. And there was a lot of access space, which some of the council members brought to our attention last time. And because of that, we thought what better way to utilize the space than to have a nice coffee, a nice cafe that could be used as, in addition to just a cafe, but it could be used as a community hub, a place for community members to go, maybe listen to live music, have a cup of Joe, and enjoy their day. So as you can see, our new look is it's a very crisp, clean, and very modern aesthetic. It's gonna be very brightly lit. This photo doesn't do a good job of showing how many lights we're gonna have around the building, but it's gonna be very brightly lit because that helps reduce crime, and that helps ensure that the facility is gonna be safe and is not going to be broken into. But in addition to all of that, we're going to be adhering to all of the security requirements of the state, in addition to any additional requirements that the municipality has. And to give you just a little bit more information on the dispensary side, it'll be a state-of-the-art facility, and it'll also have a very crisp, clean aesthetic. As I mentioned, it'll be brightly lit. There will be a room at the very front, and that's where that room is used to review people's licenses. There'll be a waiting area. That room will be separate from the sales part of the dispensary. The front room will have an entrance into the sales part of the dispensary, and that area is where all of the sales will take place. There will be another room behind the sales that'll be used specifically for storage. As I mentioned, the dispensary, both the dispensary and the cafe, will be brightly lit on all sides. There will be exterior lights at all points of entry and exit, and they shall remain constantly illuminated throughout the entire night to allow for security recording so that our cameras can accurately get images of everything that's happening at all times. We're also going to have a very high-tech alarm system and a surveillance system in place. The alarm system is going to be a professionally monitored security system, and it'll be monitoring the dispensary 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's going to include both an electronic and a mechanical system. And then our video surveillance equipment will consist of the following at a minimum. We're going to have digital and network video recorders with a record rate of a minimum of 10 frames per second, and the cameras will have a minimum resolution of 1280 x 720 pixels. The cameras will have infrared capabilities to capture images in low or no lighting conditions, but we are going to maintain the light all around the facility just in case. And then I did want to give you guys just a little bit of information on the applicants as well. One of our project managers, Danny Haidar, who's doing a great job holding the sign. Thank you, Danny. He's not new to the city of Inkster. He owns over 10 residential properties in Inkster. He provides affordable homes to Inkster residents, and he just even recently bought a car for one of those residents completely for free. Social equity is really, really important to Green Inc. 420, and that's the applicant, by the way. And I did want to mention a few things that we intend on doing. It is mentioned in the social equity plan that I gave you all, but just to give you a quick rundown, we're going to have an open door policy with the city. So whenever there are city initiatives that need support, we're going to lend a hand in one way or another. And in addition to that, we've had some discussions, and we really would love to adopt Lemoyne Park. And please correct me if I'm saying that. If I'm butchering the name, please someone correct me. But we intend on adopting the park, and the applicant, with myself included, we're going to work with the Parks and Recreation Department of the City of Inkster to not only maintain the park, but to improve it so that there are more amenities available to Inkster youth and the Inkster residents. And once the business is profitable, the applicant intends to dedicate up to $25,000 each year to Lemoyne Park in accordance with the advice of the Parks and Recreation Department. So whatever they believe that that the park needs to improve, we'd be more than willing to work with them and to do whatever it is that they ask of us, in addition to providing additional amenities as well, not just maintaining it. And then we're going to focus all of our hiring efforts on sourcing employment first and foremost from the city of Inkster. We're going to utilize local recruitment sources to advertise employment and seek out those who are residents of the city, or who, and if there aren't any Inkster residents that are interested in working after a rigorous search, then we'll seek out employment only from neighboring communities who are included on the CRA's list of municipalities that have been impacted by the disproportionate prohibition of marijuana in the state of Michigan. We also intend to donate to churches, so we did want to let the city know that if there are any religious institutions, churches, synagogues, or mosques that need funding, please bring that to our attention. And through the open door policy that we're going to have with the city, we'd love to know what needs work, because that'll help us fulfill our obligation to do the social equity that's required of us by the state and that we want to do, given that the city of Inkster has been so great to us. And then we're all here and ready to answer any questions any of you have. So please feel free to ask away. Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Isn't there an existing building there already?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, I'll bring it back to my memory. Is the gray building, long building?
Yes.
Blue. Blue, okay, all right. Maybe I'm a little colorblind today. Okay, so, blue. Okay, what is gonna happen to that building? Are you building?
This is the building.
Okay, so what you doing? You just
Refinishing.
Yes.
Remodeling, refinishing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we won't be demolishing it. It'll be
Basically, all four of them is just that one building right there,
Exactly.
correct?
Yes. That's the 4 different elevations.
Okay. And just for my clarification, you saying you're gonna put a coffee shop in there?
Correct. Yes, on the east side.
And what else?
Dispensary and coffee shop.
Yes.
What?
Dispensary and a coffee shop.
So there'll be a cannabis dispensary on one side, the coffee shop on the other. They'll be completely partitioned. There are two separate businesses. But you guys had rightfully brought to our attention last time that there is a lot of access space in the building, and because of that, we thought what better way to utilize the space than to provide something that the entire community can benefit from.
Any other questions? No. Yep.
Okay.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Councilwoman Watley.
Okay, how long are your recordings preserved?
The
Oh.
recordings were.
So in accordance with the state requires that I think it's 2 years if I'm not mistaken, but we're going to keep them for at least, no, actually it's only 30 days if I'm not mistaken, but we're going to keep it for at least 2 years, all recordings.
Okay, and what types of jobs are we talking about?
So are you referring to the employment opportunities?
Yeah.
Yes. So the employment opportunities that we're going to be offering to the residents of Inkster are we're going to need a very robust a retail team to sell the products. We'll need someone to work for security as well. We're going to be looking to the city of Inkster to see if someone within the community has a security company that we could utilize. We have a security company already in place for the cameras themselves, but we'd like to have a security guard there. We think that would be beneficial. So that'll also be an opportunity. We'll need somebody to work at the front desk. That'll be the individual that's letting people in from the front to the back. We'll have a few management opportunities available as well. And then we might have a couple opportunities for people to work on the inventory side of things to help us maintain an organized space for the inventory.
Okay, have you developed a range of salaries?
Yes, we have. So it'll depend on the role that they have, but the salary generally ranges from anywhere from $15 to $30 an hour.
Okay, and do you happen to know what the state regulation is for distancing between food service and marijuana?
Yes, so the requirement is just that it is completely partitioned. So there has to be a complete partition between both businesses. There can't be like a commingling of the money. There can't be you can't use the same cash register for both both businesses. The businesses have to be under separate business entities. So they both have to be their own businesses. Can't be under the same company, and all sales have to happen on all sales that have to do with the coffee shop have to happen at the coffee shop. All sales that have to do with anything related to the cannabis has to happen at the cannabis space. There can't be any intermingling, and there can't be any because it's not a designated consumption establishment. You can't have people, like, for example, bringing in edible and then eating the edible at the coffee shop. There has to be a separation.
Okay.
We're aware of it, and I've also educated my clients on what they can and cannot do. And then down the road, when we're able to open up the coffee shop and we have a tenant in place that wants to run that coffee shop, we're going to ensure that she or he are also fully aware of what the expectations are with the state to make sure that everyone's in complete compliance.
So there's no one currently
Oh, no, we have
vying for that?
No, actually, there's a few people. There's a handful, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one other thing, considering the massive amounts of marijuana facilities coming into the city, is there a concern that you might be phased out by the fact that, you are and it's a race to the finish now?
Yes.
So if you're next to somebody so what's your timeline?
So our timeline, as of now, we think it'll take a few months to complete construction, but we first have to obtain the builder's permit through the city. It'll probably take a few months for the construction to be complete, and then we're going to request we'll request final approval from the city. During construction, we'll be applying for step 2. My clients are already fully pre-qualified with the state of Michigan, and we actually already have step 2 done and prepared. So as soon as we get the municipal approval, we can go ahead to submit step 2 and be on our way.
So what? What's the timeline? Maybe
It would just depend on when the city gives us the builder's permit. That'll have an impact, and then also it'll depend on.
Considering all things are wonderful,
Yes.
First half.
what's your timeline?
Yeah, we think the first half of 2023.
That's it, Mr. Mayor, thank you.
All right, anything else? Go ahead, Councilwoman Washington.
In regards to coffee shop that should be coming, is this a mom and pop type of business coffee shop, or would this be a big corporation, kind of like your Starbucks or your big?
Mom and pop, we're all about small businesses.
Okay, so this will be a mom and pop shop with the business owners for the mom and pop shop, they'll be coming from outside.
Inkster, we're looking for Inkster residents.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
One more clarification that, okay. Are you saying at the coffee shop, they're gonna be edibles?
No, sorry, I was
Okay,
saying earlier.
I know.
You speaking, Jude, speaking to the mic too.
Oh, yes, sorry. Let me speak into here. So, no, my apologies, Councilman Williams. There actually will not be edibles at the coffee shop. I was explaining that there has to be a complete partition, so we can't bring in like products that somebody would purchase, for example, from the dispensary, like like a gummy, for example, and then come and consume that gummy or smoke that pre-roll at the coffee shop. There has to be a partition. So sorry, that's what I was explaining earlier. That's why I brought up the edible. So there won't be any consumption of the marijuana products at the coffee shop, unless they're within the state requirements. So for example, if the owner wanted to do like CBD infused drinks, that would be appropriate because you don't need a consumption establishment license to have a CBD infused beverage, because CBD is considered hemp under state law, and it's treated differently, and under federal law, and it's treated differently than products that have a certain amount of THC in it, which are regulated by the state of Michigan and have different requirements that one has to adhere to.
All right, Councilman Shaw. Councilman Shaw.
I just want to know, have you did this somewhat like this project before, or is this your first time ever doing something like this?
So at least in regards to my own experience, I've helped license and I've done the work on the compliance side of things for maybe, I'd have to say, at least 35 plus applicants at this point. And in regards to the experience of my clients, they have experience in the industry, but more so on the management side of things, not on the ownership side of things. So they have a lot of experience with other businesses, but this will be the first time that they're going to have any ownership in a retailer.
Okay, so for them doing any type of construction or any type of business like this?
They have a lot of experience on the construction side of things, yes.
So you have another building like this somewhere else
So they have.
Yeah, we have multiple buildings.
that's doing the same thing?
One of them does the same thing, so it'll be the second one.
Okay, what is that building at? The first one?
It's not really mine, it's my partner's, he's the one that's really into it.
Okay, so it's another building that,
Same thing, it was a tire shop, and then.
okay, that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
And I also want to show that there is another door right here. This will be the coffee shop, and this will be the retailer. Just for clarification, because it's the way that the image is, it's hard, it's a little bit hard to see the other door.
Okay. All right. That's all you got? Okay. Anything else? All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Chair. Now, are they in compliance with the buffers that we have? I think we have, what, 1,000-foot buffer?
Oh, remember, we that's what we've been going through right now. And just for point of clarification for everyone, it's no existing marijuana establishment in this area. So they're trying to be the first. So every applicant that has come before us over the last 2 months are trying to get to the finish line. That's what Councilwoman Wiley alluded to. So the first one that established one, then they'll knock out the other business outside of a micro business in this area.
And that's where I wanted to get the understanding to the public that it is, as Councilwoman may mention, a race to the finish.
Correct.
So once somebody's established, it's a done deal.
Right.
No more.
As the law stands now. Correct.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that clarification.
All right. Anything else? All right. Let's go through it. Let's actually have a roll call vote for this, please.
Thank you
Motion's
kindly,
on the floor.
everyone.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
No.
Councilwoman Washington,
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
No.
You have four. Councilman Shaw.
No.
You
I thought he.
called him first.
Yeah.
And he said
Oh,
yes.
yes, I mean, I'm sorry, I thought you had something else, yes.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, motion carries.
So-
All right, motion
yes.
carries. Yeah, motion carries. All right, moving right along. Next, please. Item C.
Consider approval to purchase one vacant parcel located on the west side of Beach Daily Road between Yale and Norfolk Street.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Support.
Been moved and properly supported. What is the applicant trying to do here? Are they here? One of the realtors, please, come up, please. Council, come on. Curtis Dean? Okay, come on up. Come on up. You know, I just like to know what's happening with properties. You know you're my favorite, but, you know, I want to know what's going on, what you planning on doing there.
What I plan on doing is pouring a slab, having a one-level building that will double as an office on the bottom and 2 apartments on top.
Love
It's a 270-foot front.
Yeah.
Therefore, there should be ample parking for the office on the bottom and its clients and the residents as well.
I like that. All right. For discussion, is there a motion?
Shaw.
No, we haven't had a motion as of yet on this particular thing.
So move.
So move, is there a second? All right, any other discussion?
Just one quick question.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Wiley.
Yeah, it says, she's gonna host community events and job fairs. You said they'll,
There'll be an office on the bottom that will host community events and job fairs, which is what I do now at the library. And there will be an office. The office will be Haven 447, Community Development Organization. I'll give you a flyer with my information on it.
oh, I was just trying to figure out the size of the location for community events. If it was going to be something massive, or are we talking about block club meetings?
I assure you there's adequate, it's a 270-foot
Appreciate
front.
that.
And the depth, I believe, is 110. There's adequate parking for both residents upstairs and whatever small business. So far, I have not had more than 40 participants in the home buyer training.
But this is gonna be a new building, correct?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any renderings or anything for that?
Not with me? No, they have not been done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay, and just for points of clarification with that too, you know, we don't want to spend the money on renders if we're not selling the property.
Exactly.
So that's kind of where we're at right now. So just the idea is out there. It is what it is. We know Curtis Steenbarge is an upstanding member of the community, and I'm looking forward to the project. But any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, next item, please.
Item D is to consider approval to purchase one vacant parcel located on the west side of Middlebelt between Glenwood and Hazelwood in the amount of $2,000 to Marla J. Edwards Wheeler.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second. Okay. And Marla, come on up here real quick, 'cause I know you've been buying a lot of property over in your area. I mean, you're right there. We're glad you're doing it because you've been maintaining that area. What
Yes,
you
sir.
got? What's your plans for this? And the reason why I'm just asking, because again, you know, you're talking about even with Curtis Steen, Beach Daily commercial, Middlebelt commercial. Do you have any particular plans for this
Yes,
property?
first let me say good evening to everyone,
Good evening.
Mayor and Council. Yes, I do. All of us have been bombarded, and that's the word I'm gonna use, bombarded with mental health, shootings, all kinds of things that we don't have the space for people to be able to woosah. So in this, I'm looking for a PS spot. PS for me is a peace spot. That people get an opportunity to have a seat, sit down, rethink, redirect themselves without having to react and be able to appropriately respond. That's what we're looking at is decreasing incidences and people being able to take a look at how I can get to someone for some assistance. I'm talking about mindfulness practices. I'm talking about cognitive behavior, a shift in the thinking. Because right now, our nation, not just the city, but our nation, is having an issue with individuals reacting. And I think that space would be great to have. It's a walkability factor between two bus stops that people can actually sit, and I've actually talked to individuals that are willing to invest in having a pavilion put up. So sheltering, that people can sit down. We'll have benches and or picnic tables to be able to sit, think, and also even in the summertime have things like music, meditation, coloring, things that give people an opportunity to really get in touch with self as opposed to just reacting to what happens. That's what I plan on doing.
All right. Is there a motion?
Is there already a motion?
We already motioned, seconded. Any other discussion? Here, go ahead, Councilwoman Washington.
I would just like to say I was excited when I read it because first is in my district and second, I love meditation. So we don't have to actually have a business like that out here. And that'll be somewhere I can go for meditation. I know you guys will probably be doing yoga or meditation.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
And I also think that it's one of the things that we can begin to do with some of our vacant areas around. And this is just a piece that is the opening to say, hey, look what we can do. Not to mention, nobody in any other city in the state has what I'm asking for. So we'll set the precedence.
All right. Anybody else? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have a motion carries. Thank you, Merle.
Thank you very much.
All right. Move right along.
Item 9E, consider one multifamily residential property located on the west side of Beach Daily Road, south of Michigan, west of Telegraph, between Annapolis and Trowbridge, or also known as 3702 Beach Daily Road, in the amount of $6,000 to Martez Bonner.
All right. For purpose of discussion, what's your pleasure?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. See the applicant. You want to step on up, young man? All right.
So yes.
What are you planning on doing there? I know there's that building, we were actually looking to have it demolished just for the purpose of the community. The building is, had been requested to be torn down. It's right across the street from Robichaud High School. It's right on that corner of Carlisle. And we pretty much just put a call out to the community to see if we can have somebody come in and rehab it. Yes. And here we are. So what you doing?
So what I plan on doing with that building is turning it into a 4 residential.
Speaking to the mic.
What I plan on doing with the building is turning it into a 4 residential 2-bedroom apartment complex, and maybe add another lift and add another 4 units to it. That's really what I plan on doing with it.
How many units there already that exist there already, you know?
I think it's 2.
So they're kind of comparable to the one that's right down the street, actually. Yes. Look kind of just like it. Yeah. It's your district. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. All right. Any other questions for the young man?
Just one.
Yes, please.
I'm just a little confused. I see the picture and I recognize where it is, but I'm just a little confused by the description.
Okay. Come on, get
Where
to
it says, you know, west of Telegraph, that's a long way west of Telegraph.
And I said the same thing. Stephanie, come on up here and explain, or Rebecca, one of you guys just explain it, because I asked you guys before
Annapolis
about
and
that.
Trowbridge, those are,
As it relates to just the,
It is, I was looking at it from a realtor's point of view, we would go that far.
speaking to the mic so everybody know what you're talking. And if you guys are having private conversations in the audience, please step out into the hallway. Just with respect to what's going on as it relates to the city's business.
It's not basically an error, but I was looking at it because I am a realtor. We would go that far out to make sure, but it's actually closer. It's actually between Yale and, what is it between? It's between
Well,
Beach Daily. No, it's on Beach Daily.
it's on Beach Daily between Carlisle, Carlisle and Annapolis, if that's the case.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Beach
it's in
Daily,
between.
Inkster Road, but yeah.
that still seems weird.
So it's Beach Daily, so it's Carlisle.
It's right off of Carlisle.
Okay.
On the corner of Carlisle.
Yeah. So Beach Daily, you talking about major roads.
But I'm still thinking, you know, Telegraph, Annapolis, and I'm looking,
Yes.
you
Right.
know.
It was a bigger footprint that she did just because
Okay.
of being a realtor, and I've
All right.
asked this before, and they do it because
Yeah,
of
we
that.
kind of do it differently when we do our thing, so
Yeah.
it's not really an error, but just
It's realtor's terms.
Realtor's terms. And just know, just for the record, and people ask me this all the time, this is a city-owned property, we expect for it to be, renovated in a timely manner. And if it's not, then of course it'll revert back to the city, within a year. That's in our clause. So we want to make sure that you're on top of it, I want to see it developed, go back on the tax roll, and get us off of city's liability. So, go ahead, I'm sorry, Councilman Williams.
Question on that. Is that where that two-story
Yes.
units are in the store? Okay, so what are you gonna put at the bottom? I mean, yeah, you say you're gonna put 2 apartments upstairs, right?
Yeah, and 2 apartments in the bottom. Well, 1 in the bottom.
So you want
I
to,
mean, how to hear you? I'm sorry.
1 in the bottom and 2 at the top.
Oh,
one in the
okay,
bottom
so
and 2 at the
two
top.
apartments, 1 at the bottom and 1 at the top.
Two.
Okay. All right, so it's not gonna be,
it won't be the store anymore like it
no
used to be.
more store, right?
it's going to be very comparable. I think somebody said it to the one that's about less than a mile, half mile down.
Stanford? Yeah,
Yes.
what is that street right there? It's still Beach Daily, it looks the same thing.
It's on Beach Daily as well. Very comparable.
What is that? It's right there, Colgate, one of them.
Oh, no, yeah. I'm trying, Dartmouth,
Dartmouth.
that's what it is, Dartmouth,
Yes.
yeah.
Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Same thing.
But the fact is that it will be renovated, totally renovated. We'll have residents in there, and it'll be on the tax roll. And for the record, the applicant will be submitting an application for the 2 lots next to it.
Yeah, because the city owns, right.
owns that
Yeah,
store.
okay. Yep, okay. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, moving right along, thank you.
Item 9F is to consider one vacant parcel located on the north side of Annapolis between Harrison and Middlebelt.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Set. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next item, please.
9G is to consider approval to purchase one structure located on 3845 Irene Street on the east side of the street between Carlisle and Andover for $1,500.
And I apologize, it's actually 5,000. But we upped the price.
This one right here is 5,000.
It's 5,000, I apologize, I was supposed to say that during the time we were redoing the agenda. But it's, the person agreed on 5,000. Motion, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh, well, I'll make a motion.
Motion,
Yeah.
already, any second?
Support.
Discussion, all right, go ahead.
What portion? Okay, There's a building on this already?
Right, so this particular, property is right on Irene Street, so you know you got like, I think it's like Penny Bump Shop, that one house, and then
Okay.
another house.
Penny
and
Bump Shop, then you got a ranch right next.
Yep, and then
got
there's one more.
vacancy right between.
Yep, and then there's that one house that's kinda like leaning over to the side.
Okay.
Okay, so this house on the same side?
Same side, other side, across the street.
Okay, next to Kelvin, with Kelvin? No, it's down past. Past that?
Closer to Mother Dixon,
Okay, by the Dixon? Is it on the same side, the Dixon?
across the street.
Across the street, which one? Shaking your head, boy.
Yes, I said
Across the street.
Across the street, okay, where all the trees are, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so this property has been, it actually, went through the county's foreclosure process, came to the city. We sent it back to the county, went to the public auction. Nobody bought it. That was last year, did the same thing again this year.
Come back to us.
Came back to the city. We said, okay.
So we got all the lots right there now in there? The
Well, I can't say what we have as it relates to all the lots right there, but I know that the building is there.
Come on, come back, it's a lot of vacant land right there.
I know. Good evening,
Good evening.
Mayor, Council. It sits on the east side of the street, and it's a damaged property, but the developer willing to develop it, and we, like the mayor said, we got the price up to $5,000.
They said they're going all the way to the corner.
No, they just buying the structure. They're
Just
just
the
buying the
house.
structure. The lots are still for sale on the south side of it, so just the structure. Okay, thank you.
You can try to get them to buy those too, because we want to get them on the tax roll. So, any other discussion? And that's, again, this is another property that the city owns. It'll have a reverter clause in there if the property is not up and running within a year time. We seeing, progress, then it'll come back to the city without any money. So let me say that, we'll keep the money. It's just what it is. Any other? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, next please.
Item 9H is to consider approval to purchase 3 vacant separate parcels located on Bayhand Street between Princeton and Yale.
What's the amount on that? I don't know why we missed some. Some we post amounts and others we don't.
It doesn't have an amount.
That's the only one we had in no post.
It's on the RAC though. It's on the request for council action. Who's that on? Come on up, Stephanie. What is this?
Good evening.
What's the offer on this?
10,000.
10,000. What's the purpose? What are they doing?
They're gonna build their own home, and they're gonna build an additional home to develop. They want to develop 2 more homes, and they want to build their own home as a primary residence.
Okay, if I had a vote, yes. All right.
They
And
building on this street?
Yes, 3 property. It's its own residential right there. They understand they have to have a residential property built there.
You gonna move?
is a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. Get this money in. All right. Next item, please.
Item 9I is to consider approval to purchase 3 vacant separate parcels located on Irene Street between Beach and Carlisle.
Who moves, Chairman?
Second.
Support?
Support. Support, I'm sorry.
All right, any discussion?
Where's the price?
That's what I'm saying too. On your RAC, is it you too, Steph? Who is that, Peggy? Come on.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
That is a very, very old contract. I believe she submitted that contract back when we had other people in place that we were turning them. I know it's probably been a couple years or so, and that's when the prices were very different. It slipped through the cracks because we had different people employed at that time. So that's one of those real old ones.
How much is it? What's the, do we have on RAC? I mean, I can pull it out. What is it?
Yeah, I think it's
Dig it on the
500.
REC.
I'm not sure.
I was trying to scroll to it.
So much paper today.
I don't have the
Right.
contract with me. I apologize.
All right, let's just pull it out.
I think it's in the new, is it in the new one or the old one?
It's
Oh,
it's
this is the old
500.
price. 500,
Yes,
one lot in the residential area.
yes.
Yeah, Council, I'm not opposed to, honoring that just because it is what it is, And our main objective, of course, as you can see tonight, Council's, as we're moving, we're making money. At the same time, our ultimate goal is to get it back on the tax roll, so then the person can be responsible for it, and then, of course, pay taxes. So that's the bottom line for me. So if you guys are okay with it, I'm okay with that number. Question being called for. Is there a motion? Oh, you did? All right, man, what am I doing tonight? I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. All right. All right, then, any others?
Mr. Mayor, can we make
Please.
it, when whoever makes the motion, can they, make it so it indicates that we're willing to accept the $500 because of the age of the contract?
Okay,
So that'll be, okay.
okay.
You can add that to it.
Making that motion with that clarification on there because of the age of the contract, we're accepting the $500. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. Next, please.
Item 9J, consider approval to purchase 2 vacant separate parcels located on Keene Street between Princess and John Daly.
Who's that? That's you two, Peggy?
Ain't no price on it.
Okay. And we're gonna tweak.
That's the same situation. These are some that we found that are very, very old, same situation.
So it's 2, so it's 1,000?
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay. And because of the maker of the motion, please, with that.
So move.
It'll be, we're accepting it at 1,000. Is it a second on that? Yeah. What did it say on there?
Oh, the, resolution is 2,000. Yes, 2,000.
2,000, okay.
So it's 2,000, not
2,000, there you go. 2,000, I like that. I ain't trying to get no money back. Correct me, I ain't tripping. All right, 2,000. And because it was a no, and we're accepting that, okay? All right, say it's been properly motioned, second. Any other discussion? Who was the second? I thought it was, who seconded that?
I'll second.
Second, okay, Shaw. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries, moving right along.
Item 9K is to consider approval to purchase 2 separate parcels located on Inkster Road between Annapolis Street and Hopkins. One vacant parcel will be used for parking, and there's a structure located on Inkster Road between Lehigh and Hopkins. The address is commonly known as 4437 Inkster Road.
I need a motion for purpose of discussion.
The personal prices on this is 30,000.
It's 30,000.
It's 30,000 on this one.
30,000.
30,000.
30,000.
30,000.
She wants to open up a daycare center. ain't it?
So it's the day, yeah,
It's the daycare center.
the daycare center. Come on up, guys. Is there a motion for purpose of discussion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, okay, thank you.
That's the old.
Yeah, so come on up here, Chloe. I'm really excited about this project because this is a long time coming. I know you don't want to speak. I know you don't want to speak, Ms. Davis. I know I'm gonna try to keep you from not having to speak too much. But I just want to say that this is a long time coming. We had originally sold this property, if the council remember, for $12,000 back in 2000. I believe it was like 19 or 20, like right early 20. But because of COVID and everything that had happened, the original people that wanted to buy it, they couldn't bring it all together, and they were going to do a daycare as well. Ms. Davis has been in the community doing daycares in her own home for, what, the last
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah, 5 years.
I say 8 all the time, but anyway, 5 is good. And you actually worked at that daycare,
No, I didn't
or
work
you
at that
just
daycare.
dreamt about owning that daycare
I
from your
just,
store?
yeah, daycare been on my mind forever.
My great grandmother worked at that daycare building.
Okay, I knew somebody in the family actually worked there. Okay, all right. Any questions for the applicant? I mean, we know what we're doing here. Let me say what happened in this instance, and we've been working intimately with the county because, of course, we want to make sure that the city, doesn't get in any financial trouble or anything like that. This property came back to us through the NSP program, believe in 2018, 19 in that area. I believe it was 19, and at that time, if it would have been sold by the city, it would have had to be sold for the actual taxes. You have to wait up to almost 3 years. If somebody come back and say, hey, if this property sells, then anything over $12,000, it goes back to the previous owner. However, now that time has expired. It is what it is. We asked for a value of the property, and we put it out there with some other people that came with some interest. But through Stephanie's due diligence, she had a couple of people that came to her, and these are the folks that actually came and made an offer, and I'm really excited about it. I don't want to overtalk it. Look at that. Call for the question. See it? Exactly. All right. Call question to be called for. All right. All in favor signify by saying any discussion?
Mayor?
What? Yeah, okay, there you go, there you go. God knows this by your house. I couldn't believe you weren't about to say nothing. I know she about to say, because I've been having people clean up over there and everything, so I know you about to say something.
I'm just inquiring
Go ahead.
because I want to know what the date on this proposal was initially.
Go ahead.
I don't have the exact date, but I want to say several people came and wanted to submit offers and submitted, but I represent the city, so therefore I have to go with the highest and best offer that come through.
Okay, there's some other things too in this packet that are not there. Like another person was told that we had to wait until we got the assessor's thing. Where is that in this packet? Till we got the count from the assessor?
Or
For
how much
it-
is
yeah.
worth? Well, that wasn't necessarily anything that we can give you that number for sure.
But
the value
shouldn't
is.
it be in the packet with everything else? I mean, you got all these little boxes, X,
We can
but none
add
of the
that to you.
information that's in it.
We can add that to you for you.
Also, there's no date as to when she put the application in, because there's another lady that has been calling me ad nauseum.
And she's been in contact with?
She's been in contact also. I spoke to her recently with when Miss Caitlin Hines was in. And one thing about it is we have to do our due diligence. And when somebody submits something, and I think she submitted something to Caitlin, but we still, I don't know exactly the total thing that she submitted, but I will tell you this. This young lady submitted not only a full application, she submitted a proposal, and she also submitted a check.
Excuse me,
So-
there's no copy of that in here either.
Well, if we
It
send
needs
it,
to be, so
we
it's
send it
in
through,
the
we'll
other
make sure you
packet.
get it. We'll
It's
make
in the
sure.
other packet.
It's in the packet.
We'll make
And
sure you get
Nope, I went through this packet several times, there's no check, or even the letter that says good faith deposit. Now, all I'm trying to understand is the
We'll make sure you
disparity
get it.
of treatment.
Go ahead, I'm
If
sorry.
this was being sold to someone else, then we, as business people, are obligated to say to that person who keeps calling me that we have sold the property to someone else. And that way we don't have to
Oh, yeah, yeah.
engage in this back and forth and all this rhetoric. But this person claims they filled out the application. You sent them email and mailed it back. I'm just telling you what was said. I'm not trying to get into a back and forth with you.
I'm not.
I'm saying that this person has been calling me right up until recently about this property. So I was surprised to see it as being sold, and the only dates on here are October 11th, and she's been trying for months and months. So obligations to sell to the highest bidder are fine, but if someone came to you before this person came and offered you something, I think an obligation to acknowledge that would have been okay too.
Yeah, no doubt if they made an
Yes.
offer.
Yes,
But
so,
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but I never received a paper offer from her. I spoke to her on the phone.
said you sent her an application via email and she sent it back. Now, all I can do is tell you what I've been told.
Okay.
If this is there, or if she brings me these paperwork, I just want to make sure we're doing our best by
Yeah,
these
for sure.
people.
That's why we use the realtors, professionals.
And you know what? I wanna make sure we understand. I remember speaking to Caitlin Hine, and they said she got an application from you, and you and Mr. Chisholm told her.
No, I don't hand out applications, dear.
That I never gave her an application, but I did talk
She
to her on
said
the
you
phone.
emailed her an application. Because there's
We'll check it out, but this is the only application I got as a full package.
But you're fully aware of this other person I'm
Just a
referring
verbal
to.
communication, and when I spoke to her.
And I spoke to you about her too.
Exactly, and what did I say? That we
You
don't know if
said you
the-
would take care of her. That's what you
Yes,
told me.
And when I spoke to her, she told me that she submitted 12,000 or something. That's what you and Mr. Chisholm said
Well,
that
that's
it cost.
what was here, because
And I said, well, I don't know about
September 8th
that.
of 2020, this was sold to a Marshall White or someone of that nature for
Yep.
$12,582.
Yep.
So, if this is a city property, it's my understanding that we cannot resell property for more than we paid for it?
That's not necessarily the case.
But what is the case then?
What I just said as it relates to the value of the property, it is what it is.
But
After so long,
How long?
3 years, it's been that.
After 3 years.
Of us possessing the property, and the property holds its value. The property is what it's valued at.
Okay.
We can sell it for its value or what it's
That would
worth.
not be 3 years if we just sold it for 12 in 2020.
That was because it was within that time period.
Oh, you're confusing me now.
I don't wanna
man.
confuse
You're doing the baby.
I'm not doing that, you're just not hearing me.
I'm hearing
You want
you
me to write
just
it down
fine,
for
but
you?
you're telling me one thing and this says another.
I'm not telling you one thing. Again, the property, we acquired the property in 2018, so if it's 2020, you gotta accept it because it's within that 3-year window. I think that
Okay,
just
so
makes
you're going
sense.
from 2018 to not from when we sold it.
No, of course not. Why would I do that?
Okay.
That don't
I'm
make sense.
asking, I'm trying to understand too.
I'm trying to understand what you're trying to get at. Let's get to the point.
I'm just saying
'cause the
that there was
question's
a
being called for.
disparity of treatment in this
It's not, it hasn't
sale.
been any disparity of treatment. Let me just say this. The person that actually wants to buy the property was my aunt. I talked to her myself and told her, the mail lady that you commonly know her as, and I told her, put in your offer, talk to Stephanie. If offers don't come through, it is what it is. At this point, this property has been listed for sale by the city of Inkster. We did everything we were supposed to do.
And we need a deposit. We need a proposal. If
You want
it's
to
not
table it and
complete,
bring it and tell her to
we
bring
can't
back her
even-
offer? What are we talking about at this
If it's
point?
not complete, we can't even give it to you guys, and I have to submit whatever comes. And that young lady said 12,000. This organization is saying 30,000.
She didn't even talk to me. She talked to you guys. She talked to you and Steve, from my understanding. She didn't talk to me at all.
No, she said she
Well, I
called you,
refer.
but
I refer.
I'm
That's
not-
what she said. That's what I got. That's what I got. That she had talked to Councilman Chisholm and Councilwoman Wiley. And I'm like, okay, what she talking to you? Okay, that's what it is. She talked to y'all. Okay, so I
And
sent
she
her straight
talked to you too.
I sent her straight to Stephanie.
And she was adamant, but she was in the office with Caitlin Hines, and she was saying she was saying $12,000. She said that.
And
you
Stephanie,
told
didn't you tell her though
12,000.
when we got the assessed value? Didn't you tell her how much it was?
Yes, I told her. And I submit the highest bid, I submit the complete package. So, I represent you guys. I cannot try to get you guys the most money.
Can I ask a question, please?
Oh, wait, how your name in it? No,
I called let him go ahead, because I did call for the
No,
question.
no.
I've been ignored by that, but go ahead, whatever you got to say.
But I mean, we want to get through. I mean, discussion is discussion. Everybody has a
Go ahead,
right.
Give him an opportunity.
All right, Caitlin Hines?
He was.
Not Caitlin, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry,
She
Melanie.
said Melanie Hines.
Okay, because I'm like,
She meant
what
Melody.
are we
I
talking
meant
about?
Melody. I'm sorry.
She meant Melanie. I knew what she meant.
Okay,
I'm sorry, I meant Melody. She met with Melody.
I got you.
When
Okay.
they came with that 12,000, I said, I don't know. I gotta check into that.
Yeah.
And
And for clarity, a price from myself was not quoted. What was quoted was the information that is on the City of Inkster's website and past documentation. I never told anybody this is the price you could pay for this property. We don't quote prices on council. And so whatever, was discussed or communicated, I just wanted to clear that up. So yes, back in the summer, persons did reach out on the applicant's behalf, and then the applicant reached out directly. I gave them the address and the information off the City of Inkster's website so they could look into it themselves, and I told them to contact the Special Projects Director. And that's where that went from. So then they started those meetings and everything like that, yes. As far as, because we are in the neighborhood stabilization program, then we have city-owned properties and so on and so forth, all these different rules get convoluted, if you will. So to sit here tonight and hear that it goes from the time the City of Inkster first possessed the property from the first right of refusal for 3 years, and then it could be assessed at its full value is different than what we've been going through before. So I see where the confusion is coming up, because I'm sitting here saying, oh, nobody ever told us that. And I
just learned it myself.
Okay, and I do concur with Councilwoman Wiley, because just what was being communicated back, the persons that were being talked to were not saying, hey, this is what's going on, and basically someone's outbidding you X, Y, and Z. Because we've sat over before, if you were in the little bidding wars with different people, had to table stuff and come back.
Oh, we told her though, Steve. That's what I'm trying to do.
Well, no, I'm not.
She went to council. She went to council. That's a good one. She went to Stephanie and talked to our realtor as it relates to the price.
And Melody, but I told him I don't think that is the price. That 12,000. You can ask her, and she was adamant about that's what. But like you said, you got it off the website, so I can understand why.
From the website and past council packets. That's what it was sold for during tax purposes at that particular time.
Before that property sold, we were actually, whoever it sold to previously, we had the full $13,000 previously, but it sold. Yeah, that was 2021 when we tried to acquire it the first time. However, we were told that it was bought by someone else, and then when it was released, then we back at it again. So this isn't something that's new. We tried early 2021 when the first person had acquired the property. So once it became free and clear, we're back.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I was just stating for clarity purposes.
That is true.
And I remember at that particular time, there were multiple people trying to purchase that property at the time. But I was just stating for clarity purposes because I heard Caitlin's name being stated, and I heard other stuff too.
Melanie Hines.
And so I just needed.
Call for the question.
Well, it was an issue. It was an issue because just like when you ask for clarity all the time, I needed clarity.
Yeah, you can't step on.
You already clarified.
It's your colleague. You can't step on him.
After they talked back and forth, it wasn't clear before I spoke. That's unfair.
And council,
that is totally unfair.
I'm the chair. I got it under control. We good.
and thank you so much for listening to everything. But yes,
For sure. Because this is important.
And I have to.
Because we just learned this. See, basically what happens is in the first right of refusal program, if we take a property and say it's $15,000 and we sell it for $80,000, then that money's in fact should go back to the property owner before. So if a person loses their house in for taxes or whatever, they still may have an outstanding mortgage or something. So those obligations, so it's a time period. That's and I've learned this myself, and that's why you can't sell it above that particular mark until a certain amount of time has went by. And that's from the treasurer and all of his assistants. We didn't believe me, we've been going back and forth because I want to get the maximum dollar that we can for any property in the city of Inkster. I'm like, why we can't get it? We're doing the work. What we're going to do, just keep giving away properties? I mean, what are we talking about? Go ahead, Councilwoman Wiley.
Yes, I have one more question, or maybe two, three.
Go ahead.
Was the other buyers ever given the opportunity to match this price?
The opportunity to match.
They never even put in a
did you say we have an offer for this property for $30,000?
Well,
I'm
did
just
not-
interested in treating people fairly, everybody.
I will tell you this. She told me, and you said she sent me an application, but to be honest with you, she took in an application and gave one to Melanie, so she never even gave me one. Now, secondly, I will tell you this. I tell people, bring in your highest and best right away, because I'm going to submit a complete packet. And she will witness to that. What did I tell her? So, and
This is
I told
all
her,
well
so
and good.
yes, but
I'm
she was convinced that you said that's all she had to pay.
No, no one, I can't set prices.
That's
I told her to go to the city realtor. That's why we have city.
That's why I had
See, it's
them
hard.
talk to each other,
I know,
not
but
to me.
It's very hard when you hire
Okay.
a realtor and then you have to go back and forth
What
with the.
is our process when we get 3 or 4 different?
To please do not give them a price.
I'm not giving anyone price. I never gave anyone a price. She was going off of what this property bought. I have no way of giving anybody a price. And you told me yourself you had to wait until it was assessed.
No, and
you said commercial property had to have an assessment.
And I got that done.
Okay.
I got that done.
All I'm trying to figure out is where do we go from here to avoid this type of thing again? Because we get one side of a story from the resident. And then when we call you and you say basically the same thing, that you would take care of her, send her an app and all that stuff, then that's what I'm going on, because I'm not a realtor. I don't know. And I'm not trying to know. What I'm trying to find out is that all the people who come to us are treated in the same fashion.
Exactly. And when I say submit your highest and best, I don't tell a person you only have to spend $12,000. I don't send a person
I'm not saying you
information.
did.
So I submit, whoever submit or offer with their full packet, their proposal, and as well as their proof of funds, and that's what I did. She didn't do all of that. And even if she did, Melanie Hines, that's to Melanie Hines. So you
She
gotta
was
make
told
sure.
to send it to our city realtor, not to Melanie. 'Cause Melanie
Okay,
wouldn't handle
so
property sales.
the projects director and the realtors don't work in
They do work in
tandem?
conjunction. They do work in conjunction together, but at the same time, the first point of contact is the city's realtor as it relates to property, and we've
Okay.
said that openly here in this meeting.
And just to muddy the waters a little further,
Okay?
this lady told us, she was told that she couldn't buy this property, but they had some in either Garden City or Taylor she could buy.
Okay. Well, is she here in the audience tonight?
No, she isn't, and that's one way, that's one reason
Did she
I'm
know
not
that this
going
property
any
was on the
further.
list for sale tonight?
So,
Did she know it was on
She's
the
not
agenda? I'm
here,
sorry,
no.
guys, please. Audience, please.
so,
Please.
that's it for me then.
Well, oh, good. Oh, good. Okay. All right, then. Let's, it's a motion on the floor. It's a motion on the floor. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays?
Nay.
Ayes have it, motion carries. Thank you. All right. Move it along. All right.
Okay.
Let's move it along.
Item L,
Please. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. We're still in session, please. I know we're going a little bit longer, but we want to be respectful to the council and any questions from the councilmatic body. They do represent, and I understand that this is a tough position to be in as a council person, because they represent the people's concerns or comments that they may have. It may not be their own. They may be hearing from other people, again, like this person, however, but at any rate, a person can always come before us and speak to this body. Or call me directly and let's figure it out. But I hadn't heard from them. So anyway, just putting that out there. Let's go to the next item, because we do have some other folks in the audience I need to recognize. Go ahead.
item 11.
All right?
I'm sorry, item L. Consider approval to purchase 4
I'm
separate
sorry. Hold on one
parcels.
second. Again, if you want to have private conversations, please step out. It goes for everybody. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Try again.
Go ahead. Try again.
Item 9L. Consider approval to purchase 4 separate parcels located on Annapolis between Inkster Road and Sylvia.
And that price is $3,000. Is that the $3,000 one? Because I don't see what is it? Four separate? Four separate?
It's 4,000.
4,000, yeah. That's item L, 4,000, so please write that in. And Madam Clerk, what we'll do is make sure that we write those in. Instead of having them on the REC, we'll write them in on here too. We'll get them, okay? We'll be right next to her.
Chairman,
All right, then, can I get a motion for purpose of discussion?
for purpose of discussion.
Second. All right, go ahead.
Are these buildable lots?
Who's selling those? Come on. Yeah, we're gonna build a house on it. Octavia been looking for, Octavia, come on, speak up for
Good evening,
yourself.
council,
All right. Good evening.
mayor and council.
Evening.
What was the question?
Are these buildable lots?
They small.
They're like so small, it's not even like a garage spot. It's big enough probably for a driveway. That's why I was trying to get the whole piece. Because I would like to build a family home in the city of Inkster for my family. So it was like 4 small lots that I did ask our realtor here to put a bid in for us.
And it's right next to her existing property. So she's just trying to get those 4 little pieces because the home that she's trying to build for her family, she want to make sure she has the little pieces next to it while she has the opportunity.
Let me ask a different way. Are these lots connected?
They connected,
Yes.
but she had to buy 4 to make it a buildable.
To make it a building?
Mhm.
That ain't hard to say.
That's good. That sounds like $4,000 to me. All right, 4,000.
That ain't hard to say.
Keep adding up, y'all. End of the night of the agenda.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
We already moved. Any other discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have a
you.
motion carries. Thank you. All right. Next one, please.
Item 9M is to consider approval to purchase one separate parcel located on Inkster Road just north of Annapolis.
Your support?
Second.
Moved in, second, I'm sorry. Been moved and properly second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify.
Price?
I'm sorry, ma'am. How much? You said?
Is there a price?
Okay. What is this?
1,500?
3,000? 3,000. This was one, I'm sorry, I apologize too, guys. This was one that, we had negotiated out before. No, we negotiated this one. When I saw how low the number was, I wanted it up. So that's what happened. So is that that's the $3,000 one, right? We good?
How much is it now?
3,000. And I apologize. When I go through these, sometimes I just get looking and like, oh, let's ask for a little bit more money to see, and depending on what they're trying to do. So, good. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have a motion carries. Next item, please.
Item 9N is to consider approval to purchase one parcel located on Notre Dame between Meadowdale and Beach Daily.
What's your pleasure?
It's $4,000. It's 4,000.
1,000?
It's showing 1,500.
Which one? Who has this one? This is the Notre Dame.
Oh, the Notre Dame is 15.
1,500?
Yes.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have a motion carried. And just for the general public, so you guys don't think we're crazy, right? This is our packet tonight. Okay? This is our general packet. This is what we get, along with this. So this is our general packet. And typically on the front of the packet, you'll have what the items are as the clerk is reading it off, and then they'll have the actual amount. So some of the amounts were missing. That's why instead of digging, trying to, okay, we apologize, but we'll make sure we get that in order for you. All right, next item, please.
Item 9O is to consider approval to purchase one vacant parcel located on Spruce Street on the east side of the street between Beach and Chestnut.
Move.
Second. All right, what's the amount on that one? Somebody got that one? Stephanie, that's you again?
Yes.
How much is that one?
I don't have the,
You got it?
I don't have the numbers. I don't got a resolution. Safe has the number.
What you got on that? No, that's it, that's it.
What's the name on the property?
1,500.
Let me see that.
You have the old agenda.
Is you sure it's 1,000 or 1,500? Cause I seen the, this the one, this on the agenda. It's 1,000.
It's 1,000?
Yeah, that's 1,000.
Okay. The safe just said that to me.
Okay, yep.
It's a little small area next to his existing home.
Yeah, this is.
Just a small.
That's the same one for
This is-
1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's in our RAC. That is in the packet, it's correct. Okay. Thank you. All right, so that's 1,000. And it's next to their home. We're encouraging folks, I mean, we know that you guys been taking care of your property in your neighborhood next to it. You wanna keep cutting it and taking care of it, you can own it. Come and buy it. See our city realtor. All right, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, sig-
Sorry about this, but just for point of clarity, can we have, unless Tracy Ann Jennings really did initiate
Yep.
the thing, can we have her name removed from
Yeah.
these requests
Yeah.
for council act?
For sure, yeah, that's again, we gotta tighten that up. That was just cut and paste, copy paste. We got the city realtor, for the most part, handling all this stuff now, so we don't have to handle any properties. So if anything, you know, they have licenses and all that other type of stuff, we shouldn't have regular folks handling that stuff. So it was just copy and paste. So we'll take care of that. Anything else? All right. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, getting off into the meat of it. Close. Come on.
Item 9P is to consider approval of a rezoning from B3 General Business District to M1 Light Industrial District at 28550 Reynolds Avenue.
Purpose of discussion. Is there a motion?
So move, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded for discussion. Gage, go ahead and give us.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. So yes, this is for the rezoning of a parcel located at 28550 Reynolds. It should be noted that the parcel adjacent to this at 28440 Reynolds was already rezoned. In the intent of this rezoning, it was a clerical error that this parcel was not included. So the applicant wants to come back and include that parcel for rezoning to M1. This is for the purposes of reoccupying the existing warehouse building that was formerly a stamping plant. They intend to create a marijuana grow and cultivation center. So that is the purpose of this rezoning. There is a special land use for your review later on. But this property is located on the west side of Harrison Street at the intersection of Reynolds and Harrison. Immediately adjacent to that is a storage facility for vehicles and parts. And the two parcels are part of this industrial park. And this use is supported by the master plan, and the rezoning just rectifies this clerical error from the previous rezoning in March. And if the council has any questions for the applicants, they are present to answer any questions.
All right, Mayor, you stay right there at the Gage. Mayor Pro Tem?
Can you say that it wasn't in the original one, and it just seemed another piece of property, and you know, that's just rezoned?
No, so this is a unique property. This building that already exists spreads across multiple parcels, across two addresses, 28440 and 28550. That's why we believe in good faith that this was intended to be rezoned back in March when they rezoned the other parcel so that they could occupy the building for this particular use. If they couldn't rezone both of these parcels, they wouldn't have had an interest in rezoning just the first one because the building spreads across multiple parcels.
So one building is gonna be one use. What's the other building gonna be?
Right. So the marijuana grow and cultivation is actually in 2 of the buildings. So it's a complex, and in that complex, there's going to exist cultivation, grow, but also an armored vehicle terminal facility to basically dispatch armored vehicles to different businesses within the region. This area is classified as regional commercial in the master plan, so that armored vehicle terminal facility is supported by that. Marijuana grow and cultivation is also supported by a regional commercial use, so that is why they are coming today.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Question?
So the question I would have on this line here, first of all, you came before council and before armored cars that you wanted to rezone that to M1.
Mm-hmm.
Now you
Correct.
come back with 440 and 550 and also wants to rezone that, okay? And all of that area where you're talking about is B3,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Okay, and for the purpose that you came before council before, we gave you permission to change that one building, the address that you stated, because you wanted to put armored vehicles, manufactured armored vehicles in there, okay? And so we approved that on that condition, okay? Now, then you took it from council, after council approved that, now, I'm still trying to figure out how did it get into planning hands, okay? Okay, because somehow, first of all, I know this one address, we changed M1 for the purpose of the armored vehicles being built. Now, all of a sudden, when you went to planning, you went there for marijuana use. Okay, and that don't sit good with me. Okay, when you went there for one thing, but you went to planning with something else. Okay, and that was not right.
Thank you, Councilman
That was
Williams.
not right.
Yep.
Okay, and then all of that land that you're talking about is not M1. Okay, that's B3, all of it.
The storage yard to the west is
Say what?
the storage yard to the west is zoned
The whole
M1.
area. We'll get the man out there tomorrow. The whole area is B3, okay? Where M1 starts is across from the railroad tracks, okay? Now, I got the map. Brad told me to get the map. I got the map.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so I think the purpose of the item on the agenda we're speaking of right now, the items in question are zone B3, and they're looking to rezone them to M1. No, it's not zoned M1. And when this came before the Planning Commission, and there were persons in the audience who were at that meeting in March who spoke to the applicants, they spoke out against it, and after they spoke and got an understanding of it, both uses were discussed at the Planning Commission meeting during the public hearing. I don't know how else to articulate it. And as Gage has stated, and as the planning department stated at the last planning commission meeting before this came back to city council again, it was a clerical issue, and that's why they're bringing it back lawfully so that we can rezone it properly and not have one building zoned half one way and the other part of the building be zoned a different way. And then later down the line, when we get ready to do something else, or it changes, or the county gets involved, or the states gets involved, and we're looking at the clerical issue on the city of Inkster's behalf, we're trying to correct it on the back end. So that's right now. I was actually looking for the past packet and the minutes so we could revisit and actually review it. And if you just give me a moment, I'll find it. We could read the minutes off on what the votes were, what the discussions were, and everything like that. I just wanted to get it clarified because I don't think it was a thing of anybody trying to bamboozle council. And yes, all of these items go to the planning department before they come to city council. They don't come to city council first and then go to planning. So they go through their process, it goes through the public hearings, which we had, then it comes to city council for the vote. So there's multiple opportunities for these to be discussed and tabled and pushed back and everything. But I think that's where some confusion or miscommunication might be coming into play. And I'm just looking for it right now. But I just wanted to speak on that, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Councilwoman Marsh?
I know we discussed about half the building being this armored truck business.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other portion of it being a conservation
Mhm.
place. Is the applicant here? to speak on that?
The applicants are here, and I believe they have site plans to share too, so, yeah.
I know.
Thank you kindly. And thank you, Chair Chisholm, for providing that explanation. You are correct. Despite the fact that this was before I was included in the project, my understanding is that when they did come before you all in March, they had requested that the entire property be rezoned, but due to a clerical error, it just so happened that only half of the building was rezoned, but our original request did include both for a marijuana cultivation center and then also the armored vehicles facility. But we did want to clarify that we would in no way, shape, or form ever try and deceive city council or try and go back and do something that we hadn't already agreed upon. There was no deceit involved, we can assure you. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the first time you came to council for the rezoning to M1, okay, was for the armored transportation units, okay?
Yes.
All right, so now,
It was both.
Yes, so it's
beg
both
your
of them.
pardon?
It was both.
Yes.
No, well, you said it, I didn't read it as both.
I'm not just saying it.
Can I
It
finish
happened.
talking?
Yes, sir. I just want to make sure that you
Okay,
keep
well,
saying it. I want to make sure that
it
you're
was
saying
the
it correct.
Same conversation that we had about, the marijuana versus the car, and you say you needed that, so we passed that, okay, for that address. But now that you look down here, now you got two addresses, okay, and the long building down there, and there's more buildings hooked to it. I understand that part there, okay. So you're not really giving us a clear picture about what you're going to put there. But then too, for as talking about making that marijuana right there in a B3 zone, that is not one of the rules and regulations that we have.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So you're asking for something that a whole lot of people have been coming to this council asking, can they have a change in zoning in B3 and all that, where they can build marijuana places?
So when we originally came and we had suggested both uses. Both uses were proposed. The only thing where the clerical issue came to play was just that there are two separate addresses. So we were under the assumption that, and the city was under the assumption that by rezoning the address, by rezoning that one address, that the entire building would be included in that rezone. But because there are two separate addresses, for one building, which is a very unique circumstance. It doesn't happen often where you have two separate addresses for one building. Only a part of the building actually got zoned, but it got rezoned. So the other one is still the other part of the same exact building is rezoned M1, and then one is B3. And so that's why now we came back. We want to make sure that the entire building is zoned appropriately. We were actually on our way to Planning Commission to just have the site plan and the special use permit approved. But then upon doing that, we realized that there was this clerical error, and then we followed up with the city and figured out that there was an error at play. But our original request always had both armored vehicles and marijuana. So I have the original application with me that they had originally submitted before I was brought onto the project, and it did say that there were two uses that were being proposed, and the site plan did include two separate uses in the site plan as well. So we always had the intent to do cultivation and the armored vehicles. The only issue that came to play was that we found out after the fact that there are two addresses associated with one building, and so then only a part of the building got rezoned and not the other part. So we can't move forward to the site plan and special use permit approval until the entire building is rezoned as opposed to just half the building.
Okay, another question I wanted to ask you.
Yes.
Okay, you gave these two addresses here.
Yes.
Okay, isn't it more than one, more than two addresses down it?
No.
In
So
them buildings?
just two addresses for the entire building.
The entire building?
Yes. But there's, I believe, 3 parcel IDs, right? Is it
Yes,
3?
yes,
Thank you.
3 parcels, but two addresses.
Yes.
Okay, because only problem that I have with it, okay, all this B3, and we shouldn't change any marijuana. We got a lot of marijuana places going up.
This
you
is
know.
different than
And-
the other marijuana stuff that
Huh?
is going up. So this is different. It's not a retailer. So
I mean,
this is just
I'm being truthful
cultivation.
with you. That's what all of them say when you go to them. They're different.
Oh, yes, sorry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
They're different. And
So-
I don't feel council should change that from B3 to M1, okay? Because what's gonna end up happening then when the people down on the other side of the tracks, where all of that whole area going down there past the churches and stuff down there that's past 1,000 feet, and all that's M1, when they go through there, will it be fair to them when they come in and say they wanna build these marijuana places?
So they wouldn't want to because those places are specifically doing facilities. If you're doing a facility, you want to be in the commercial district. You don't want to be in the industrial. My client,
Well, nobody don't wanna build that. We've been
Look,
people
they-
asking right now.
So you could-
About all of the area down by Cherry Street, all that area down there, M1, already M1. And people are asking about it now.
and
okay?
respectfully, Councilman, there's two different. You could have a marijuana business in both an M1 and a B3. It's just different types. One allows for example, the industrial district, it allows for processors, for cultivation, and for secure transporters and safety compliance facilities. Then the commercial district, it allows for the retailers, which is what you guys have been seeing in the last month or so. You have all these retailers that are coming. These clients, they're not retailers.
So
They're
the
specifically
building that you're putting
cultivation.
The building that you're putting on Michigan Avenue.
Yes, that's a retailer, separate
why don't
business.
Why don't you make that? That's B3?
Yeah, well, that's a separate
Why don't you
business.
make that?
That's
That's-
a totally
That's a
separate
separate,
issue.
it's a separate business
I'm
entirely.
explaining to her that, when we get to the business of trying to put marijuana places in B3 areas, we're in trouble.
And so retailers
That's
can,
the M1.
Huh?
yeah.
That's the M1.
That's not M1.
Everything around it is M1 except this particular parcel.
Yes, and then,
It's next door to Bishop's.
and then B3 is specifically for
Scrapyard.
All down through there, sir, is B3.
yeah, but B3 again is specific for
The other side is all
commercial,
M1.
for
It's all on the
retailers.
railroad track. And you know we did this before. This is like a deja
Everything on
vu.
that side of the railroad is B3. Bishop. and all
Oh,
that
Michigan
stuff.
Avenue is B3. On Michigan Avenue is B3.
Well, I'm not gonna sit and argue with you. I know it's B3 area. I mean, I got the map like you
There's
told
no
me.
sense of arguing, Councilman. I'm not trying to argue. I just want to make sure that we're factual.
Yeah.
You're in a position where you should be speaking facts.
Y'all do what y'all want, but I feel that when we start letting people change the lots for B3 or down to M1 to put marijuana places there, we had a whole lot of trouble.
And respectfully, I did want to say that marijuana can go in both M1 and B3, but like I said before, the commercial district, that's where you could have, which is the B3, that's where you could have dispensaries. So my
You say
client,
the M, so.
That's
so
where you could have
marijuana growth can go in the M2?
no, they cannot.
B3?
They can't. Only retailers. Retailers can go in B3. That's in accordance to the law.
Okay. All right, Councilman. Yes. Before Councilwoman Washington, before Councilman.
And you're right, I apologize.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Washington.
Sorry,
So I
Councilwoman
just
Washington.
wanted for you to explain this armored truck concept. Because, I mean, we broke down the two addresses and it being split.
Yes.
Or two separate buildings.
Yes.
So
what
building, what actual, because we have 28440 and 28550. What actual address is Tony
The architect.
Right now it's the 28440 and they didn't do the 28550.
So 28440 is
The only
M1.
one. Yes.
Yes.
And then the
28550 is B3.
B3. Only, yeah.
So why can't the cultivation center be done at 28440?
It could, but the thing is that it's one building, and then we have no frontage on Michigan Avenue. Back to what you were saying, as for it to be.
Speaking to the mic, I mean,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
so everyone can hear you.
The reason why we originally went back to try to change to M1 is we have no frontage on Michigan Avenue. For it to be B3 and put a retailer there, it's an industrial building across from the railroad tracks. So that area is industrial, or was industrial back in 2017, correct? And then it was switched over to B3. It was a M1 in 2017, then switched over to B3, and then the city planners recommended to switch it back to M1.
Yeah, so we're bringing it back to its original zone. It was actually rezoned a few years ago to, so it was rezoned to B3 and we're bringing it back to M1. So its original zone was actually M1 and it makes more sense to have one building be one zone than to have one building be in two separate zones.
It used to be a rubber stamping place.
Yes.
So they don't want the M1 and 28440, but they want it in both.
Yeah, we want the entire building to be M1 as opposed to right now you have half the building M1, half the building B3.
And that's because of the frontage.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, can you explain also the armored truck concept and what are you guys going for that?
Yes, of course. So what an armored truck business does is that it provides the secure transportation of different. It really just depends on what a business is asking for, but generally it could securely transport money. It could securely transport a variety of products depending on what's requested. But these are vehicles that are completely secured. They have internal cameras within the armored vehicle. They're really hard to get into. They're locked, they're securely locked, and they're different than what a secure transporter is. A secure transporter, it's essentially the same concept, except the secure transporter is specifically for marijuana products. This would not be for marijuana products. This is for general business. So the armored vehicles you would be able to supply that service to all different types of businesses, and it wouldn't be specific to marijuana businesses like a secure transporter is. The armored vehicles actually they won't be able to assist with like the marijuana transportation, but it's essentially the same exact concept, except this is applicable to all businesses instead of just marijuana. Whereas secure transporters, they securely transport marijuana from facility to facility. This would be different. We can securely transport anything outside of marijuana.
So Zuju, let's stop this. So it's like armored truck. It's armored trucks.
Yes.
For the government, for banks, stuff like that.
Yep.
Like diplomatic
Yes.
vehicles, stuff like that.
Yep.
I mean, that's what we're talking about.
Yes. Yes. We're not armoring the vehicles themselves. That's not the service we're providing. We're providing the service of the transportation.
You want to kind of see the concept. They had it right here on Beach Daily. So we're trying to get them to come over here to Inkster.
Yeah.
Okay, and in regards to, because this would be two separate businesses.
Yes.
All in one building. What are the, plans in regards to hiring, Inkster?
Oh, yes.
Residents with the armored truck company and the cultivation?
So I was gonna wait until the next, we're next on the agenda again, and right now we're on the agenda for the rezoning. Right after, we're gonna be on there for the site plan and the special use permit approval, and that's when I was gonna,
Can we hold off on that, Mr. Mayor?
Let's hold off on that for a second.
So should I?
She said, "What's for the armored truck?"
Oh, for the armored, thank you.
She said the jobs for the armored
Yes,
truck.
okay. Yes, thank you so much. No, that helps. So what we're doing is and this is included in our social equity plan, but for both the marijuana business and for the armored vehicles business, we intend on hiring within the city of Inkster. We intend on promoting those job opportunities in community centers in the city of Inkster, and we're going to specifically target Inkster residents for those job opportunities. Thank you for asking that question.
Go ahead, Councilman Chisholm.
All right, yes. For the record, and this is coming from a planning commission standpoint, just for clarity purposes, I found the city council packet for March 21st, 2022. The background on the information on the request for council action specifically states, the purpose of the request is to allow for reoccupancy and reuse of the existing industrial building located at 28440 Reynolds Road for two purposes. 1, manufacturing and upfitting of armored vehicles, and number 2, marijuana grow and or processing facility. The site is located at the intersection, and it gives that description, all that good stuff, right? And then fast forward to our April 18th, 2022 city council meeting where the minutes were certified by this body. The votes were as follows. Motion by Shaw, second by Williams, approving case number 2121 ZOA. Request to rezone 28440 Reynolds Road from B3 General Business District to M1 Light Industrial. Ayes were Councilmember Shaw, Councilmember Williams, Councilmember Washington, Councilmember Chisholm. Nays were Mayor Pro Tem Howard and Councilmember Wiley. I just wanted to provide clarity that the background information on the request for council action, also known as the RFCA, had two purposes listed in there. One, manufacture and upfitting of armored vehicles, and two, marijuana grow and or processing facility. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
So much.
All right, we're gonna stop right there.
I have one question.
Ma'am.
I know.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Don't
No,
do
please.
these no
It's on you.
more.
This is, we here. And let me just, go ahead.
Did not we refuse to rezone something similar to this when they wanted to go from B3 to, we set a precedent for not rezoning B3 to M1. And I believe it was that furniture place on Michigan Avenue when he wanted to be rezoned to M1 for the grow, and we denied that. My question is what kind of liability are we opening ourselves up to if we approve this and don't approve, and didn't approve his? What kind of stuff will come back on us?
He didn't ask for a rezoning. He wanted to do a caregiver facility there.
No, it was a rezone, sir, and I'll put Stephen on you and have him look it up.
Hey, if he gonna do what he just did, hey, it's all good. But I remember because I was, we were talking about the caregiver model being there.
And these are supposed to
You guys
also.
said no, so I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
Believe me, Mike calls me all the time about that.
Okay, but it was so we've set precedent in this area. And I'm concerned, that's
From a legal perspective, you can't actually set precedent like the city council meeting. Precedent is set in common law, not at a city council meeting. With the city council meeting, you have to assess each and every single applicant in and of themselves and in accordance to the ordinance, not in accordance to precedent.
Okay, but we do legislate here. So our no's become part of the legal picture.
They do become part of the legal picture, but it's only supposed to be based off of that one individual. It only applies to that one individual. It does not set a precedent for the upcoming applicants. That has to be based off of what the law says.
Okay, well, what the law says is that we are able to decide whether or not we're going to do that.
Yes, but it cannot be based off of a former decision for another applicant. It has to be based off of this applicant and the facts
And
here.
this will be based off this applicant because this is all that's in front of us.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Thank you for providing that clarification. And I did also just want to state that, again, this is different than all of the other entities that have come here to apply. The other entities have came here to apply specifically for retail. My client is here for cultivation. And given that the city is going to have an influx of retail, they're going to need cultivators from the city to be able to supply them, or they're not going to be able to get their supply, or they're going to have to go outside of the city in order to get the supply to sell. So this way we'll have a cultivator that could sell to those retailers that have been
How
approved.
many cultivations do we have?
Currently now?
None?
You
How
said
many
currently?
are in the process all around here?
No, you have, I think, one that's being built, but existing now you have like 4.
4, okay, and one being built. So nobody's
But you
gonna run
guys
out
set
of
them for
marijuana.
unlimited in the
Yeah,
M1
but that was-
years ago, so it ain't really no discussion on that. Unless you want to change the law. Y'all did that already. That's why we dealing with all this stuff. So it just all blamed on me though. I'll take it. Let's keep it moving. Okay, let's do this, Councilman Williams and then Councilwoman Washington. I'm sorry, Councilman
I'll
Williams.
yield to her first.
I'm sorry, Councilwoman Washington, go ahead.
It won't probably take as long. So, in regards to, I know you said the armored truck, my biggest concern, or my focus, I guess, in regards to this vote, is just making sure, if we're talking about an armored truck, that's a big company.
Yes, it is.
And that those jobs are given to residents here. Now, I know we had got something in regards to the social equity plan for.
Oh, and I'll give you one.
For the so this is social equity part for this actual armored truck.
This is for Aspen, so this is for the Aspen Holdings, but I did want to say that our intent is to have it apply for both Aspen Holdings and the armored trucks business, which they are, correct, 2 separate businesses, but our priority will.
You guys are sidebar. Come on, Saju, come on back to the mic. And let's, we did say.
My apologies.
To that question, her question is to the actual armored cars
Yes.
vehicles. Is it? We know that again. You said already the jobs are going to go to them.
Yes.
Was it something else you had wanted to bring out?
And many jobs, I guess I would say, with the armor company, I guess, are you guys expecting in regards to that company? Because that sounds like a big company, so how many jobs will be open?
Yeah, we're expecting to start with 8 and then hopefully grow from there. Yeah.
And that's how many are in the one that's on Beach Daily? They have between 8 and 12.
8 and 12?
Yeah.
They push out more work.
What folks are getting in their mind is like it's the old school assembly line type of deal. So we're looking at like 50 employees or something like that. I mean, you're talking about maybe what? How many square feet over there? How many square feet you got over there?
Yeah.
Speaking to
Sorry,
the mic, how many
to the
square
mic.
feet you got over there that you're using for the armor?
At least we're trying to be around 20,000 for that.
So 20,000.
Maybe less. Yeah. Do we have that building with the awnings
Uh-huh.
over there? And that's the one we're gonna try to focus on.
Get that to the clerk, please.
So you got
All of them, and she can pass them to us.
Perfect.
Yep. So you're gonna have automation, you're gonna have machinery, all of that stuff, and then you have
Yeah.
people actually
Everything is
working
pretty
in it,
much
putting this all
CNC
stuff
cut
together.
and whatnot. Yeah.
You're not actually, are you building vehicles there, like
No, not
just
building.
outfitting them
Yes.
up into becoming armored? So plating and all of that stuff. Welding, so welders possibly,
Yes.
stuff like that.
Yes. We're actually still working with the armored group as of right now, and I'm not sure if you keep up with it, but that building is for sale. So we're working really hard on trying to get them in there with us. So.
Depends on us, I know. Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays?
Nay.
All right, roll call, please.
Councilman Williams,
Hey,
Councilman Washington,
Councilwoman Washington.
Washington,
Yes.
Councilwoman Watley,
Nay.
Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilman Shaw,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard.
Nay.
Got 3-3, yes. Yes. Motion carries, all right. Moving right to the next item, you guys might as well just stay right there. You wanna come on up, Mara, Gage, which one of you guys, come on. Just go ahead. Next item, please, City Clerk.
Item 9Q, consider approval of a special land use permit for a marijuana grow facility in the M1 Light Industrial District at 28440 and 28550 Reynolds Avenue.
For purpose of discussion, what's your pleasure? Purpose of discussion, is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second? Purpose of discussion, is there a second?
Oh, this was the approval, right? For the
Right.
schedule? Oh, second.
Second, all right, go ahead, Gage, give us the background.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, once again. So pending the rezoning, this special land use is coming before you for the reoccupancy of this large warehouse complex for marijuana grow and cultivation. We found in our letter dated September 19, 22, we recommend approval of this based on the 8 standards within the zoning ordinance. It is harmonious with the existing character of the neighborhood. It improves the community by providing jobs, stimulating the economy, and reusing a vacant lot. We find that this project is in harmony with the master plan, especially given the recent rezoning. And we do recommend that the master plan be updated eventually to reflect current community goals surrounding marijuana uses, but that is a conversation for a later time. I would like to hand it over to the applicant. I believe that this this use is a appropriate use for this currently vacant building, and it will support the rezoning that just occurred minutes ago. So, thank you.
So I did want to just be able to answer any questions that the council had. And before we begin, I just wanted to also just give you guys a little bit of an explanation on Amin. and let you know that Amin, who is the owner of this project, he's an active member in the Inkster community. He owns a few businesses in the city, including a tire shop that he's been operating since 2018. He also just invested in a body shop that should be in operation soon. He's an active volunteer in the city. He participates in the Thanksgiving drive every year and donates money to a variety of city initiatives. And he's deeply invested in the city, which is why he wants to continue investing in the city and working here. He did not just come here to do marijuana. He's already had an existing relationship with the city, and he's already been doing work in the city. And because of that love that we have for the city, we're back again. Thank you.
Okay. And with respect for Peggy Bishop, I see you standing there, Peggy. Did you want to say something? I know that you guys have a business.
Very quick.
Please, go ahead.
You all know that my parents own Bishop Auto Wrecking. We've been in the city for 53 years, and we provide 24-hour towing and storage for the Inkster residents. Our business entrance and exit for the towing facility is on rentals. We do not approve a gated street. That would not allow us to get in and out of the property. So I'm here just saying, whatever they're going to do, we do not approve, or we're asking that we will have a way in and out of our street. We are on that street 24 hours, and it's not just us. There's also another business there that I think is being overlooked. It's just not us. There is another business on that street too. It's trucks parked in there. I'm not sure what type of business it is, but they've been there a very long time as well. So I just don't want the street closed off, because we are in there 24 hours a day, in and out of that street. And as far as closing a street, my father asked for that many years ago. We own every property, a parcel of land on Spring Hill, and we were never allowed to do that. So
we're not asking to close the street. They already know they're not closing the street.
It's been said that may happen, so that's why I'm here to let you know. I hope that you all want to approve that.
That went through the planning process, Peggy, and let me say
Thank
that was
you.
one of the things that I advocated and said. That's not going to
I heard it again, so I just wanted to come and just say that. So thank you, I appreciate it.
And Councilman Chisholm,
Yes.
want to chime on there?
Two things, Mr. Mayor. First thing was, thank you. First thing was, could you speak to the hiring of Inkster residents portion? And then the follow-up would be to speak to the gate.
Yes, of course, yes. So our plan is to specifically hire Inkster residents. So all of our efforts for employment are going to be targeted toward Inkster residents. And in regards to the gated fence, I want you guys to all know that we very much respect the Bishop family's decision, and we're willing to yield to their decision to not want it to be closed. But in order to compensate for that, we are going, and this was always the plan, but we're going to have a very rigorous security plan in place and a security system in place. And so there will be cameras to cover not only every square inch of the facility, but every entry and egress area within the building. And we've already blocked off all of the windows, so nobody will be able to have access into the building through the windows. So we're going to go above and beyond for the rest of the security protocols to ensure that we have a safe facility that doesn't run the risk of being, broken into.
And I know, Mr. Mayor, that was spoke, I don't want to say ad nauseum, but it was spoke about heavily when we looked at the site plans, and Bishop's was brought up and the other entity was brought up, and it was also brought up, well, how would they particularly secure their building, but still allow Bishop and the other entity 24-hour access.
Yes.
So I do support Bishops and the other entity having that access and not just close off completely and saying, hey, you guys got to figure it out on your own.
Yes.
I thought you all had been in the past talking about it at least, or working together. If not, I would like for you to do so. Yes. If you are, I would like to continue those talks to make sure you all come up with a, I don't want to say resolution, but a compromise to make sure it's good on both sides and it's not hindering anybody, but it's also keeping everybody safe.
Yes.
Can I say this too, though? For everybody, that's the city's own street. So nobody's blocking the street off. They don't have the right to do that.
Yes.
So that's why we were, basically talking about how they're gonna secure their property as it relates to the cultivating center being gated off from the community like the other ones are.
Yes.
As it relates to a wrought iron fence or whatever it is that it's gonna be around their property.
Yes.
They do not own Reynolds Street.
Yes.
And we
Thank you,
want to
Mayor.
make it as a point of clarification, just putting that in there as it relates to the plans and all of that, that street shouldn't be cut off. And access to, we're talking about at the end of the block of Reynolds, we know that Bishops use that gate all the time, and the wiring company, they use that gate all the time for their, exiting and going. So we wanted to make it clear that they couldn't block off the street, but it's a city-owned street.
Yes.
So that's what it
Thank
is.
you, Mayor. And we completely agree. I've spoken to Peggy during the last week or so, and we came to the agreement that we would respect the city's decision and that we would not move forward and close the gate so long as you guys are comfortable with that and you all approve of that. We have no desire to close the gate, but we will go out of our way to make sure that the facility has the best security protocols in place to make sure that the facility is safe at all times, because it's also in our best interest. If it gets broken into, we run the risk of getting in trouble by the CRA, and we don't want that.
Mr. Chair,
All right, Councilman Shaw?
they stated about, and my thing is that, my interest is in hiring Inkster folks, providing jobs here in Inkster. And that has been the goal for, the duration of these companies coming in. Now, when she made mention about she's going to hire Inkster residents, now, is that something that, is this stating like it's in writing that you're going to, make sure this is Inkster folks that's going to be involved? So this would be considered something in writing that you're going to ideally hammer here in the city of Inkster, because we want the folks here to have jobs. We want the folks here
Completely agree with you.
to have jobs. So is this going to be,
So legally speaking, no, that wouldn't be considered a legally binding agreement, and that's because, one, it's not.
Speaking to the mic, so Jude.
Thank you.
I get
So-
it. I know you're an attorney.
Yes, of course, sorry. So that wouldn't be considered a legally binding agreement, but what the CRA has been doing, and I really appreciate the CRA for doing this, which is the Cannabis Regulatory Agency, is they're requiring these businesses to now post their social equity plan on their website, on the CRA's website, which I particularly appreciate because there are a lot of other businesses, not my clients, but I do know of other clients for other attorneys that have made promises to cities and then not fulfilled them, or promises to the state, because the social equity, it's a state requirement. So they've made promises to the state and not fulfilled them, and that's why now the CRA is starting to buckle down and it's starting to reach out and request information from the applicants that they provide what have they done and what actions they've taken to move toward these goals that they have in these plans. And I completely agree with that, because I don't think it is right to make these promises and to get a city's, a municipality's approval and then to go back on your word. So our focusing efforts will be focused on getting Inkster residents, or our employment efforts, they will be focused on recruiting Inkster residents, and what we hope for is to have all Inkster residents be working there. And the reason being is, even statistically speaking, generally people are more likely to come into work and to do their job better if they're closer to their place of employment. It's actually, it's proven in any business, not just marijuana. The employee is more likely to get up every day and go to their job if they're closer to their place of business, as opposed to being farther. So it's better for us, really. And it's not just better for the community, but it's also better for us to have individuals to have Inkster residents be employed.
so we don't have that in writing from you all?
So the social equity plan access that.
Social equity
Yeah.
program. So when they go into the social equity program, then they get certain discounts and incentives from the state to be a part of it.
No, so we don't get any discounts, no discounts or
cultivating?
incentives. No, that's the social, so there's a social equity plan, and then there's the social equity program. Social equity program is only given, and I know the state should have had two different names for it. It's actually really silly that they gave it the same name. I've complained a few times to them.
Explain that to me.
It's super confusing, but the social equity program, that's meant for certain applicants that, for example, they live or they grew up in in a community that was considered one of the communities that were disproportionately impacted by marijuana, or they're also eligible for social equity if they also had a charge in the past or a conviction in the past that's related to marijuana, either at the misdemeanor level or at the felony level, then they can get a discount. That doesn't apply to us. We won't get any discounts or anything. But there's something else called social equity plan. So this is different than the program. All adult use businesses, so all recreational businesses, whether it's a grow, a retailer, a processor, all of them are required to have a social equity plan. And that social equity plan is how they intend to use some of the profits from the business themselves to give back to the communities that have been disproportionately impacted by marijuana prohibition, and to give back to individuals who have been disproportionately impacted by marijuana prohibition. And so they're two separate things.
But I heard you say that the state is trying to get more involved because people have been basically saying, I'm going to give, I'm going to do, and they haven't done anything.
Yes.
So what's the state's, position? Are they saying that, okay, we're not going to license you, or we're going to take your license if you don't follow this program? I'm with Councilman Shaw. What's the teeth in that?
So what they've been doing now is that they've been following up and actually requesting, they have these surveys in place, and they request the operators or the managers of each facility to answer within the survey what they've done, what they intend on doing, what of their goals they've achieved thus far. And my understanding is if they run the risk of being penalized, they run the risk of being fined, they run the risk of not having their license renewed. So there are things in place if they don't follow through with their promises. And then the other thing that I really enjoy, that I really think is appropriate that the state is doing, is that they're requiring these businesses to post on the website their social equity plans. And I think that's great because it forces these companies to be held accountable to the things that they say. And this way it's, I'm sorry, I see that your hand is up, Councilwoman.
Go ahead, yeah, Councilman Shaw.
And that's exactly what we're looking for, because we don't want folks just to be coming in here and then they're trying to say, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, but then nothing ever happens. And then also, those people here are tired of that rhetoric. They're tired of hearing that. We need some real stuff, Mr. Chair.
No doubt, I agree. Are you done, Councilman Shaw? Thank you. All right, Councilwoman Washington.
I totally agree with my colleague in regards to that, 'cause that's kind of been my main question with a lot of these marijuana businesses that came up tonight. But it's nothing that CBD really, and I could be wrong, set in stone. I see the last sentence of the targeted employment recruitment where it says if the applicant is unable to hire Inkster residents, it will then seek unemployment from neighboring communities who are included on the CRA's list of impacted municipalities. So with that being said, how do we actually know, when we say unable to hire Inkster residents, will some of these residents actually be trained to do these jobs, and what jobs are you actually looking for? Because we have more than enough Inkster residents, I'm sure, here in the city to be hired for these positions, but what are the positions? And then just like Councilman Shaw said, what is the teeth in this actual plan? Like, how does it hold? How does it stand? That's where I'm at with that. So you can answer that for me.
Yes. So
Speaking to the mic, and I know that
Thank
you
you.
already. Let me just say, reiterate, as it relates to the jobs. You talked about, growers, basically. People that you have to use for cultivating.
Yes.
And what else? What else
So,
did you have?
yes, we will need a handful of growers. We'll need a pesticide applicator. That's actually the reason why we said the last sentence, and I'm glad that you pointed that out. Thank you, Councilwoman Washington.
I know the chair, he just kind of asked that question for me, but we missed one thing.
Go ahead.
The part that I was stating is also, if you guys
Yes.
have those positions, will people be trained to do those positions as well?
So certain jobs, yes, they will be provided training. Some of them are self-explanatory, some are not. We do intend on offering very rigorous training, but that's the expectations of the CRA. We have to provide certain training, and it's not just the expectation of the CRA, it's actually the expectation of MDARD, because this is considered agriculture, given that we're in the cultivation business. We have to adhere to the worker protection standard and the Michigan OSHA standard, which means that we're required actually by law to provide training to anybody that's involved in, to anybody that even just touches the pesticides. They need to be trained in order to do so. So we will be providing training, and that's going to be in accordance to what the state and federal expectations are for agricultural businesses. The only position that may be given to somebody outside of the city of Inkster, and that's just because of the nature of the role, is the person who's going to be the master cultivator. Because generally for someone to be the master cultivator, they have to have a myriad of certifications that they should, not just certifications, but they need to have also a specific amount of training that has to do with the ability not just to work in cultivation, but to be able to curate certain strains and to be able to train the rest of the employees. So we'll need the only situation where I can see the company going out of its way to hire somebody out is to bring a specialist, so that the specialist can train all of the employees that will be Inkster residents to make sure that they're applying the pesticides the way that they should be, to make sure that they're growing everything the way that it should be, that they're watering everything appropriately, and that there's appropriate ventilation in place. But that would be the only role, and that's why we have that sentence in there. It's because that would really be the only role where we may have to look outside of the city, but that's because that individual will be there to train everybody else.
Okay, and I see the training part for I'm glad you explained that, thank you, for the targeted employee recruitment, and I'm sure that goes into the employee mentorship program as well, but that's non-paid, I'm sure, so I'll let you continue explaining or answering whatever questions. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I saw that you had a
Quick questions. How many people are you planning on hiring?
So we're thinking 10 to 15, and if we grow and have an additional grow license, then it could be more.
You say 15?
No, 10 to 15.
10 to 15?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know the area that she was talking about, and with the streets in there, where are you planning on the parking?
Oh, so we won't have any, there won't be any traffic coming in and out because it's not a retail. So we won't have to worry about, we won't have to worry about parking for any retail customers because there shouldn't be any.
I'm talking about the people that work for you, the people that you're gonna hire. Where are they gonna park?
So at any given time, there should only be 5 people there. We have 10 to 15 employees because they're not all going to be there at the same exact time. Generally, you have up to 5 there at the same time. You have other people, for example, the sales team. The sales team won't be at the facility. They'll be traveling from dispensary to dispensary across the state, having meetings with the owners of these dispensaries for acquisition purposes and for sale purposes. But not all the employees will be there at the same time.
How many parking spots you got there? I can't set the question.
I was
How
just
many?
24.
Thank you.
24 parking spots.
Yes.
What you said, I didn't understand that.
24 parking spots there.
24. That across the street?
Oh, right in front of the building.
Okay.
On Reynolds.
In the building?
Yep. Yeah, right in front of the
They're gonna
building.
build a parking lot right there? You
No,
said?
it's there already. It's existing. All in front of that building there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right between Reynolds Street and the buildings. There's parking over there.
Yeah, we got pretty lucky with parking in this situation.
All right, then. Roll call, please, City Clerk.
Councilmember Shaw,
Yes.
Councilmember Chisholm,
Yes.
Councilmember Watley,
No.
Councilmember Washington,
Yes.
Councilmember Williams,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Howard,
Nay.
and Mayor Wimberly.
Yes. Motion passes. All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you
All right,
kindly.
moving in. Next item, please. Man. Mara,
9R.
go ahead, please. Go ahead, City Clerk.
9R is to consider approval of updated fee schedule for the 2023 fiscal year.
Okay, hi again, everyone. We are representing.
Hold on one second,
Oh,
Mara.
sorry. Oh, yeah, my bad.
The motion for purpose of
So
discussion.
moved, so moved.
Say second.
Second.
Moved and supported. Go ahead, Mara.
Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. We are excited to represent some amendments to the fee schedule. We know we've been talking about this for a while, and we're doing it today. So the Planning Department and the Department of Public Services are here to represent some amendments. As we know, I'll read a little bit more about fee schedules. Fee schedules are imperative to maintain price transparency with the community. Just so the community knows, fee schedules are a list of all of the fees that the city has for all of the different types of applications or reviews, just the different prices that we associate with the work. So it's to maintain transparency with the City of Inkster's community. They also need to be adjusted annually for inflation, and fee schedules need to be reviewed with a thorough analysis because sometimes we have gaps in which we are not charging for services that we could capture some money for and alleviate our strain on the general fund. So we have performed some reviews on a comparative analysis of what other communities are charging, and we've identified some gaps for the planning department on where we could charge fees that we're not charging fees. This information is in front of you today. We also are representing the Department of Public Services, who have amendments to their fee schedule. We work hand in hand with the city engineer, as you know, with our design review team process. So the city engineer and the program manager for the Department of Public Services provided the other fee schedule amendment in your packet. I'm here for any questions, and I know Director Bivens would address any engineering questions too.
Mr. Chair.
Please, go ahead.
So this new fee proposal, would it come to the City of Inkster? Would it go to Planning Department, or?
I'm sorry.
It's going,
This is city
this
money,
is
yes.
city money?
Yes.
Okay, because I know something, what is it, building can't,
Right, yeah, no, this is planning department.
okay, this is
Oh, yes,
specifically
ma'am.
planning.
Strictly, yeah, this is the general
Okay.
fund.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, that's why we wanted to update it quickly, because we're getting a lot of business in.
okay.
Our amendments won't come from the treasurer and Plant Miranda until November the 21st, Daryl? They're here on that, so to do our general quarterly review of the budget and other amendments. But they pressed on me for this, because we're
Okay.
getting so many monies that we're not getting, and we know we need to create revenue, so that's what the planning department has accepted the challenge, and Mr. Bivens from the Department of Public Works as well.
Thank
So that's
both
what-
of you guys. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions? Comments, hearing none? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any nays? Ayes have it, motion carries. And I apologize, I did not see, as it relates to, before we get into public participation, I did not see Tony Dunbar from Rashida Tlaib's office here in the general session. I believe she's left.
She actually just left.
She had to leave. So I just wanted to recognize that she was here, Tony Dunbar from Rashida Tlaib's, Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib's office to speak with us, but because of the meeting, she had to leave on. All right then. So this brings us to the time of public participation. I ask that when you approach the mic, please state your name for the record. Of course, get into your comments. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please, let's respect that tonight, because I know that we've all been here for a long time. Mother Cooper, please approach. Barbara Cooper.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Or is it good night? What? Mayor and Council, I am Barbara Cooper, and I'm representing the Inkster Goodfellows, and I came to thank the City of Inkster, Council, and Mayor for participating and helping No Child Without a Christmas. Thank the police department. I have to hunt down our fire chief. I haven't been able to catch him.
He just owe you double.
Yeah, he owed me double.
That's it. We got it.
Yes. But I just, once again, I want to thank all of you. Councilman Shaw, Washington, Williams, I'm going to get Chisholm, and our mayor. I know you got me. Ads. We need ads. We're going to do the paper. I like for the entire council to put an ad, a business card ad. That's $35 in the paper.
$50 for a council.
He said $250.
I thought you said it was $250 for each council person.
That's from the mayor.
That's what I thought you had told me. My fault. I'm sorry. I don't know what you said. My fault.
Okay, all right. Yeah, if y'all want to get
No child
$250,
left
thank you.
behind.
No child without a Christmas. We want every child in Inkster to have a great Christmas. And I appreciate Sister Marla right here in Wayne County Community College. I want to put an ad in the paper.
Dr. Ivy had a full page or something, right?
Yeah.
Come on, step it up. How much is that?
Yes.
How much is
Full
that?
page, that's $150.
A full page what? I'm going to get back with you. Me and you going to talk before.
Okay, we gonna talk.
No more cost or nothing.
Okay, no
I'll
more
give it to you.
cost. No more
Yeah,
cost.
We'll let
No
him get
more
away with
cost
that for
coming
right
from
now,
me.
but no more cost for right now.
Okay, no
We
more
will talk
cost.
about
All right.
The readjustment. You see how we just did
Yeah,
theirs?
for that, the amendments.
I'll revise yours.
Okay, thank you. I
got
appreciate it. Accept all help. Accept all help. All right.
We love you. Doing a great
I love
job.
you all.
Great job.
Thank you all so much.
And the pancakes were
Please
good.
consider
Bacon was
moving the public participation back up to the top. You know, back up to the top like it used to be when you were on council.
I believe me. I remember, and that's why we moved it to the
Yeah.
bottom.
No. This is just too long for us, but
I got
just
you.
consider it.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you all once again. We love you all.
Thank you. We ain't finished yet. We got to hit our goal. Yeah, we ain't finished yet. Our goal is 20,000. Better hit some of these people that was in here tonight. All right, let's get them. Good. It's Octavia. Yes, ma'am. Come on. Hey.
Good evening again, Mayor and Council and residents. Just want to come to you again, as I generally do. Just letting you know that I have not seen any of you guys at Western Wayne Family Health Center for yoga on Mondays, 6 to 7, or for Zumba on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 7. It is free. It's right here in our city.
Zumba 6 to 7?
6 to 7, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Craig and
It's an
Cameron
excellent
said they're coming with
workout.
me, so we gonna go.
You guys get you a little shaky belt and come on and do some Zumba, right?
Mr. Gabe said he's coming with me. We're
Okay.
gonna
Okay.
Start a coalition.
The Inkster Task Force want to thank everyone for your support of the farmers market that we have from May the 5th through October the 6th this year. Everything worked out well. I know we didn't get a chance to see a lot of you all, but we did have some members. I was very glad when Miss Verna came and visited us a few times. So thank you, Miss Verna. The Chamber of Commerce just want you to know that generally our general membership meeting is on the second Tuesday of the month, but due to the fact that the second Tuesday of November will be election day, we want to make sure that everyone is getting out and voting. We are inviting you to our general membership meeting. It will be on November the 1st, so it will be on the first Tuesday. It will be at our office located on 26716 Michigan Avenue next to Citgo, and we will have a presentation by the Better Business Bureau. So any questions that you think you may want to ask, but you do have to register because it's not a majorly big building, so we have to make sure that we have space. So, and it is on Eventbrite, so you guys can go in and register, so you guys can attend, and it will be at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, November the 1st. Okay, so are there any questions?
No, keep up the good work.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Thank you so much. All right, I see Darnell. He's skipped. Ms. Edwards, Commissioner.
Good evening again, Mayor and council persons. Council persons. I just want to say thank you. You know, I'm a big deal when it comes to mental health, because I believe mental health affects overall health. And when we get an opportunity to take a look at where we've been and where we want to go, we have to have that bridge to gap us through the way. So I just want to say thank you. I don't know whether you all know, I work for the state of Michigan. I'm in the prison system, and I am one of their mental health specialists. I see what goes on, and I just want our city to be on top of what we can do and how we can do it. And I want to say thank you to this body, to this community, for allowing us the opportunity to bring something new and innovative. First, what do we say? We are often imitated but never duplicated. That's
Say it
us.
again.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Inkster, Crystal Linton, come on up. Yeah, there she go. Somebody said you had some hoodies.
Yep, you can get a hoodie.
Oh yeah, I want a hoodie. I need a hoodie.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just stuck around because I don't get to come that often. Just to let you know, We Rise is still going strong, growing bigger and better. And we do meet on Monday night, so I had to leave the children over there in pretty good hands. They ate good and they went home. And so I said, while I'm here, I want to reiterate that Inkster is Pinkster for the month of October. Everyone. There is only one other city. I know you were, the Sisters United or United Sisters were here a couple weeks ago, and I think they gave everybody a Pinkster t-shirt. But, and I think they told you that there's only one other city in the country called Inkster, right? Did they tell you that?
They didn't.
Okay, well, there's only one other city in the country called Inkster, and they are hoping that the mayor will challenge that mayor next year to pink out that Inkster, because it's the only, Inkster is the only city that works with, where you can call it Pinkster. So let's go on next year and make this official, challenge them. And the United Sister has asked Inkster residents to put something pink out in front of your house for breast cancer awareness. If you don't have a pink ribbon, they have made something, and they made these t-shirts. You can buy them for $25. Proceeds go to breast cancer, a breast cancer organization. But if you don't have anything to put out, this has magnetic strips on it to just put on your mailbox. They're $5. I have some. But other than that, just tie something pink on your mailbox, anything you have to put pink. And before I sit down, I'm just going to say, they asked me to get involved with this, and I said yes. I have family members who survived. I have family members who didn't. But what I found out in doing this is I have a lot of people right here that I know that has survived breast cancer. So I'm running into so many people that I actually know right here in the city, and my friends telling me, yes, I'm a 10-year survivor. I'm a 20-year survivor that I never even knew. So I'm happy to do this. I hope Inkster is pinking out the city. We are Pinkster. Let's challenge this other Inkster. We're the best. Yes. We're the original. We can do this. So next year, let's challenge them, but let's pink out the city this year. Thank you.
Love it. That's good. All right. All right, good. Is Mrs. Davis still here? Brandon? Yeah, come on.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, citizens. I just have a couple of things. First, I'm back to talk about the field adjacent to my backyard. I know whoever the property owner is made some promises that they would accept the free dirt that the city was giving out, and they never did anything. They never put any dirt down, and they never cleaned the field up, and they never cut up the trees that have fallen in the area. And so I hope the city who's been cutting the field has been passing on the cost to that property owner. And I hope that we can make that property owner accountable. If not, if maybe the city can take it over and piece it out, and those other residents, maybe we can purchase just a portion behind each person's property so that we can get the dirt from the city and do what needs to be done to keep the water from coming back, because in the spring we're going to have a mess again because he didn't do what he promised to do. So that's the first thing. Okay. The other thing is we have a company going through, while I'm on Penn Street, they're called Pipe Tech, and I don't know what they're been hired to do, but they've staked stakes in our yards. They've put green markers down. Nobody ever told us what their purpose was. We didn't know if we were supposed to keep those in our yards, if it was okay to take them down. So people have been cutting their grasses, putting the markers back up. Some people have just taken them down because we never knew what the purpose was for that. So if it's okay for us to take the markers down at this point, that'd be great.
I'm glad you brought this to our attention. Is it something that you know about, Mr. Bibbins?
Mm-hmm.
So step up here. Do you put out a notice when folks are out in the community with? Okay. Okay.
Project manager.
Is that the company? Do you know?
I'll make sure.
Okay.
I'll just make sure.
Let's find out and then let's follow up, please, because you got two issues to follow up with her on. Because I know that me and you talked to that property owner about that dirt.
I just talked to the code enforcement officer tonight.
Okay. So we'll make sure we follow up on both of those issues for you.
Been going on for a while.
All right. Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Okay.
And then I just want to make a proposal that for next year, when you come up with the, to keep the city clean, the dumpsters that go into different parks during the summer months, if the one that's put in Wheatley Park, if we could place it maybe on the Carlisle side instead of the Penn side, because on the Penn side, when you put it in, you're putting it in the parking lot, and that's the side that everybody uses. That's where the basketball court is. That's where people who, if they have reunions or anything like that, it's on the Penn side.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you placed it on the side where the softball field is, where nobody really uses that side, then you wouldn't take up the parking lot. People wouldn't have to, and then the mess is there, right there where people are trying to go in and out with the area that they're being used. So just a replacement of that dumpster would probably be helpful for people who not only use the park, but for those of us who live down the street from the park.
Mm-hmm. Well, similar minds think alike. We're already on that.
Okay.
Yep.
Excellent.
Make total sense. All right,
Okay,
last,
thank you.
totally not least, beautification. Mr. Gabe, Mr. President, please. Inkster Goodfellow. Good.
Huh?
Say the best for last.
I can connect the dots. Okay.
Go ahead.
I want to thank you for, all that came to our pancake breakfast and all that. We had a pretty good turnout. Beautification, okay, the 29th of October is our last date. We're going to have the dumpsters put out, but we can still keep on cleaning, and making everything shine. And we that location, I think we talked about that once before.
Yeah.
And I think it's supposed to be done, it should be done, and I think everybody be comfortable with that new location. So I should take care of that. The dumpster going to be out Westwood Park, okay, Wheatley Park, they'll be on the Penn side, okay, and we're going to have dumpsters at Booker Dozier and Lamone Park. And this is going to be our last, and that's the 29th of October. It's going to be our last, and we're going to start back in May instead of April. A lot of people's complaining how April was sort of cool, so unless the city want to do something early, okay. And that's about all I have to say.
Let's see if we can get that dumpster moved onto the Carlisle side right away. Let's do that, Mr. Bill.
You're going to try to arrange that for the dumpsters to be, that dumpster
at Penn Park.
Put on the Carlisle side right by the street area.
On the other side where the other little entry is, where the guys kind of,
okay.
where the guys hanging out and stuff on that side now.
Right.
Right there. Set the dumpster right there for them. Yeah, where the guys hang out at, set the dumpster right there.
And at the Dozier last date beautification, we're trying to have some hot chocolate for the kids. That time they come, coffee. I probably won't do that. Y'all wouldn't let me do that. Have hot dogs and stuff like that. But anyway, we're gonna try to have a little more extra things there.
Okay.
All right. Love y'all, and
Love you too.
hope to see y'all turn out. And thank you again. The Goodfellow organization.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I have a question.
Go ahead. Question. She has a question. Mayor Pro Tem has a question for you.
Dave, I have a check to give to the Goodfellas. Do I give it to you or Mr. Coop would know?
Well, either, just have it, fill out Inkster Goodfellas.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Okay.
So can I give it to you or?
Well, Yes.
Okay, get this money while she got it.
Of course.
Yeah, there you go. Come on and grab it. Is she ready? Get that money.
I didn't come to your pancake breakfast, but I meant to give that.
Okay,
There you go.
Okay, don't lose.
$400,000.
Yeah, $400,000. There you go. And he got the rest.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure you.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you.
Come on up. Come on up. I'll recognize you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll recognize you.
Thank you.
Curtis Team Barge, no problem.
Very brief. I want everybody possible to come and join us for home buyer training. Those of us who have young people who may think about buying next year. We're going to be at the
I'm sorry, guys.
the Leanna Hicks Public Library again on Saturday from 11 to 1 o'clock. Chase Bank will be our special speaker, and they will be unveiling new products that they have for veterans that could give them up to an additional $2,000 in down payment assistance. So I'd like for everybody possible to spread the word, even if you're not interested in buying yourself. There'll be a lot of good information shared. There'll be free refreshments, and it's sponsored by Haven 447, which is community development organization, which is Curtis C. Barge and Company.
Awesome. That's awesome. All righty. All right. It's up to us downhill now, y'all. City Clerk, got anything for us?
Just a reminder that we're now about 21 days from Election Day, November 8th. And if you haven't received your absentee ballot and you asked us to vote absentee, call the office at 313-563-9770. And if you haven't asked and you think you want to, you can just join us come into the clerk's office and we'll issue a ballot for you. So, or you can just simply go to the polls on November 8th. So whatever your choice, we're happy to accommodate you.
Right, because he got
Mayor Pro Tem, go ahead.
No, Mr. Bivens just.
Mr. Bibbins, please.
Nobody want to paint this cat on his head.
First of all, let me apologize for not knowing the answer to that question. Pipe Tech is our company that's doing the sanitary sewers for us. They're working for Giffords. That's that $3 million project we're doing for the next 20 years. So when you see the flags in your yard, they're digging and cutting, and we're putting new sewers in.
So turn back around and say that into the mic.
We're putting in new sewers, and we're cleaning sewers, and we're televising at the same time. That's why they're in your area, and that's why you see the flag. But you should have gotten a letter, so I will follow up and see why you did. But
Question
I will
also,
follow
too,
up.
they're doing fire hydrants, too, right?
Benish is doing the fire
So,
hydrant.
but okay, because I've been seeing them out. Those are you guys with the green jackets.
Yeah, they're
doing the fire
winterizing
hydrants.
fire hydrants, and then
Right.
we
So
got
it's
all
not
our-
it's not the firefighters that's doing that.
No, I took that away from them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on me now.
Uh-huh.
And we got in, I think, 80-some hydrants now that we'll be putting in the spring.
Okay. All right. So you are cleaning sewers. This is part of the project to do new
I'll
sewers.
find out why you didn't get
You're
it.
doing the hydrants, because I know that was one of the questions that I have for you, so I'm glad that
Doing
you
the
came on.
hydrants. And we-
Mr. Bivens? May I, Mayor?
Please, yes.
Is DTE through with the tree trimming?
Not that I know of. As far as I know of, they're not.
Okay.
Yeah, they haven't stopped yet. They said they won't be
stop.
completed.
They won't stop.
They're not
They're
going to be
through the
completed
winter.
with that for about another 2 years.
Or longer.
Yeah.
No, I'm just want to know, because I've been told all year that they coming that way.
Oh, they ain't been over to your way yet?
And nope.
Okay, I got you.
And there's trees laying against wires.
Let's make sure we get on that with Barb. And
I will.
Get over there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you. It's the biggest thing from the clerk is to get out to vote. Exercise your right to vote. It's definitely a privilege. Many have come before us, have sacrificed to vote. And I believe if we had to walk a day in their shoes, we probably wouldn't even made it to vote then. But, you know, for what they did and what they went through for us, I mean, voting is very, very important, especially in your state and your local elections. So get out to vote. It's November what?
November 8th.
November 8th, and the polls are open, and you can vote early now. I know some folks have been saying that they haven't been receiving their absentee ballots, but I know that the rule had changed a little bit, that you had to actually check a box on the before. So if people are used to getting an absentee ballot and they didn't necessarily check that little box, they can still come up to the clerk's office and fill out what they need to fill out and actually vote right on the spot.
Absolutely.
All right. Nobody's being turned away. All right. Yeah, that's what I want.
Accommodating everyone.
That's what I wanted to get out of here. You know, we definitely, you know, you guys have been working really hard over in the clerk's office, staying long hours, actually working, trying to organize and keep it straight, and then handle all the other cities' business. So I appreciate that. I know the citizens appreciate that. Mr. Green, Treasurer Green, you have anything for us?
No, just I sent out a first quarter budget report to everyone, budget balance report to everyone. Just want to make sure you guys got that.
Okay, and then we are having amendments for certain on November 17th. Because I always throw out these dates and folks not showing up.
Yeah,
So
well, I'll confirm with Rand tomorrow, but that's why I sent that out today, so everyone has time to submit back what you think.
right now, I know that that we're talking to Brian. He had said November at the November, the first meeting in November, that they would be here. That they had it marked on their calendar. Okay, okay, okay. All right.
Can
And the
you
read.
finish his sentence? What we need to what? You said you send it out to everybody so we'll know what we need to, you want us to give you suggestions.
No.
No, the department heads as well as, I mean, you guys are already seeing, that's why I gave you the information so you can see what's going on, and if you have some suggestions, definitely bring those, but the department heads are ultimately responsible for bringing forth those.
Exactly. Like we'll do an amendment. We'll do an amendment tonight. It'll be part of it because we sold $60,000 worth of property tonight. So that'll be a amendment, you know, in the black. You know, that we have to put in there for property sales, you know. So it's just not amendments where we're losing money. What we're talking about too with the department heads, and we've been holding them responsible and holding meetings for them, that this is your budget that the council approved. You're responsible for not only managing it and looking at it, but working with the treasurer to make sure you're not going over. And then if you can adjust where you can adjust, you know, to save us money, then that's what we're trying to do. And of course, like you said, Councilwoman Wiley, this body as well, looking at what's going on with the budget and, you know, answering any questions that you may have. Okay? All right. Getting right into it. You want to go ahead, Councilwoman Wiley?
I didn't have anything, but I changed my mind.
Okay, go ahead.
I would like this administration to find some way where we can begin to phase out the marijuana situation.
Okay.
Or make some adjustments to how we facilitate it. Because we're getting inundated. And there's not too many places left to go. And the only other thing I can suggest is if we can't stop it from coming in, maybe the residents can just not patronize it. Because if you ain't making money, you ain't gonna stay. Thank you.
I hear you. All right. And let me just say that's this councilmatic body. So as the administration, of course, we're working with planning right now, and we've been having discussions at the planning level as it relates to the overall ordinance for the city. So because it's been so convoluted and just so many different things being said or whatever it is, so we can etch that in stone. So that's what it's going to come out of the planning department, and then of course coming to this councilmatic body to make that decision on how we handle marijuana in the city of Inkster. If you want to say, hey, we just want a moratorium on everything again, or, you know, this is what it is and this is where it's at and this is buffers and all that other stuff, those discussions are going to be coming before us, Mara. What you thinking, probably in another, 60 days or so before after they come out of the planning department? I mean, go through planning?
Probably at a December city council meeting. We'll have a public hearing in November, and we're discussing it. Feel free to come. We're discussing the marijuana ordinance update at our meeting next week, right here.
Okay, in updating that, can we send suggestions?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Please do. And CC me on them. That way they, nobody can say they didn't get it or whatever, and we're all on the same page with that. Matter of fact, let's see if you could send council that survey that you sent planning. Did you send the planning?
Oh, I got the survey. She sends me
Okay,
things.
perfect. All right, good. So that's what we'll do. Start from. Okay, Councilman Chisholm.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
Tony Dunbar was here earlier, but she had to leave, and one of the things she wanted to speak on from Congresswoman Tlaib's office was the federal student aid relief. We received an email with the link and a one-pager, and I'd just like to share that with the public. The website is https://studentaid.gov/debt-relief/apply. Also, on the one-pager, which I will post on my social media page as well, they put their phone number down, and they ask that you contact them for more information at 313-463-6220. And some important dates listed on the one-pager is October 17th, the loan forgiveness application was released. November 15th, recommended date to apply by. January 1st, 2023, regular student loan payments will resume and interest will begin occurring on borrowers' remaining balances, and the final deadline to apply for student debt relief is December 31st, 2023. Again, that number is 313-463-6220, and that is for Rep. Tlaib's office. Also, Ms. Dunbar alerted me that military academy nominations for high school seniors deadline is November 11th, 2022. Again, please contact Rep. Tlaib's office at the number that I provided earlier for any of those nominations, because they will care for that. Earlier, I had a constituent reach out about requesting a copy of the audit. I did send the clerk's office an email because I don't believe we had an electronic copy. We only had physical copies, and I alerted them to also go to the clerk's office to pick up a hard copy. I announced at the last council meeting, Ms. Teresa Moore had passed away. Her arrangements weren't announced yet, but per the Michigan Memorial website, it looks like they won't be having any services until spring of 2023. Some precinct delegates reached out to me and requested that you turn over your ballots and fill out both sides. Please do not just fill out one partisan side. Remember about the Proposal 3 and the other initiatives that may be on there. The gentleman here tonight to speak about Proposal 3, please, I would just request that you educate yourself on that and any other proposals on your ballot, regardless of where you live. And there was also another gentleman who is able to assist people in filling out paperwork to register to vote if needed. Please see and remember your precinct delegates are out and about and able to assist you in the best way possible when it comes to our elections. I believe that's all I have for now, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much.
Councilman Williams? All right, sir. Councilwoman Washington?
Just wanted to say I had the pleasure of attending a few events this weekend. This weekend, the Inkster Goodfellows breakfast. Also, the Hearts Who Care, which is a nonprofit. A lot of you guys may know Commissioner Ray Brown. He presented a few people with awards this weekend as well, including our mayor and a few residents from our city, along with Tariq Hunter. Also, I was able to attend NAACP's Freedom Fund dinner. It was the 75th annual dinner, and found out that actually, well, I just found out, maybe a lot of you may know this, but the NAACP started in Inkster, and Reverend Williams, he was the president, I believe, from 19 what? He was the president of the original?
Right.
From what years?
97.
Okay. So we was presented a award to the city of Inkster. And then also, I have one last thing. The tree removal and this may be a question for Mr. Bivens. I have one constituent that called me today about her tree being removed, and I know Mr. Bivens is working on that. I just wanted to know with the tree removal, when does that end for the tree removal? He said, when is that? Somewhere in December?
Yeah, he go all the way up to like mid-December.
Mid-December?
Yeah.
Okay. And also just wanted to say thank you as well to the Department of Public Services, Mr. Bivens and his staff. I rode around a few times this week just looking around to see what I complain about. And parks is looking very good in District 2, so I just want to say thank you and I appreciate you guys.
All right. Did you said Councilwoman Washington? You said the awardee was who? Tariq Hunter.
It was a few.
I think you mentioned. Did you mention
Tariq? I just named Tariq Hunter as one.
And not Tupac Hunter?
Tariq Hunter. Tariq Hunter.
Tariq Hunter.
Yeah, the Inktown Riders.
Yeah, Inktown Riders. I couldn't remember the actual organization off the top of my head.
I got you. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm done for the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Councilman Shaw.
I just have a, excuse me, Mr. Chair, I just have a couple of things. I just want to say thanks to Ms. LaJoyce Triplett from DPS. She has helped me on a few streets on Sunningdale, and also Center. The residents there want to thank her as well for her help getting some things done. So I want to say thank you, Ms. Joyce. And secondly, I'm having a small town hall luncheon at the Twin Towers. I want to invite anyone who can attend, my Inkster residents, my members, to come on out. It's going to be, this first one is going to be 12 noon to 3 p.m. This is going to be the first one. We're going to work on the evening crowd as well to come on out and have a small luncheon with us. It's going to be catered by Clayton's Kitchen. So we're definitely shopping Inkster. So I want you to come on out for the city administration, also to come on out, police and fire. Come on out and, have some lunch with us, or you can take it to go if you want. But we want you to come on out and chit-chat with us at the Twin Towers. I definitely want my Reverend to come out and open us up with prayer, Reverend Williams. I want him to come on out and enjoy us. And, we talk about shopping Inkster, but we really need to shop Inkster. I come in and I come into the mayor's office quite often, and sometimes just to come and see how he's doing, but he said, Sean, working on this business here, this business right here. So, I know his passion, I know your desire, to bring good, wholesome business to the city of Inkster, and we're trying, we're working on that. I know that we need to have some discussion concerning marijuana facilities and industries that's coming into the city of Inkster. We definitely want to cap those. I know we talked about this some years ago, about capping, and the footprint that the marijuana facilities have in the city of Inkster. So we definitely want to look forward to that and do some, serious digging. I'm looking at the buffer situation. I know our councilwoman talked about some ideas, but I'm looking for that buffer situation, making sure that, hey, we can shrink it down using a buffer standpoint. I don't know if you can, fit that in, but if you could have some discussion on that, so we can minimize that footprint. For some communities, it's good business, and they're bringing in a whole lot of promises. For some communities, not all communities, and they're bringing in some promises about things that they're trying to do and want to do in addition to. But I'm glad that the state is stepping up the game, so that we can make sure that they are responsible for what they promised to these cities and for this city. So, Mr. Chair, I just hope that we can get that information out to the public so that the public can understand, what we have and what we have going on here in the city. So that's all I have to say. And also, always, it's going to be November Thank you, thank you. November 4th, I got some flyers here, November 4th. Give you some time, to plan, to come on out. And like I said before, just to eat with us and fellowship with us and have some conversation, with us. And then we're gonna do another one. And I can't wait till the summertime. I'm excited about it. I can't wait till the summertime because we have a small gazebo, there on Inkster Road in my district, right across the street from the towers. We're gonna be trying to barbecue and do some things, and talk. I know we gotta get going. I get to talking, but I just want to invite you out November 4th, 12 noon, 3 p.m. Come on out, have some soul food with us. And also, that's all I got, Mr. Chair. I'll be going on. But I'm just really excited about what's going on with the meeting. So come on out and join us. I want my colleagues, if you can, come on out. I know you have other things going on and you may be working, but come on out with me.
It'll be good.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
All right, Mayor Pro Tem?
I just have two things to say.
Yeah.
The chief of police over there, Rattler, thank you. I've been calling him on some issues, and he's been taken care of, so thank you very much. I appreciate you. And also for DPS, I probably worried him to death. If I'm driving down the street, I call, there's some water out there. I called Daryl, I didn't know he was out of town. Daryl, there's water out there. He said, I ain't even back. I said, well, where are you at? But anyway, so what I'm saying to all our residents, if you see water on the street and it has not been raining, please contact DPS because it could be a water main break. But I don't know, when I'm driving down the street, I see them and more than likely that's what they are. But just want to tell DPS thank you. And that's all I have to say.
All right, just real quick for me, just point of clarification, I will be having dinner with the mayor tomorrow at 6 to 8 at the Recreation Complex, and then the next day, lunch with the mayor from 12 to 3. Because I've been getting a lot of our constituents is basically saying, Mayor, I can't make it to lunch. Can you do something in the evening time? So we're doing dinner tomorrow and then lunch on the very next day. So that's out there. Also, too, just shout out to Mabel Strobin. She received a Lifetime Award from the NAACP. One of Inkster's on, please. Just as she was talking about all the things that she's accomplished, and I just know it's a whole lot of other people that's similar to her story, but just with just her energy and her strength and how she keeps going, and she's so dedicated. She's one of our commissioners on Inkster Housing, so I just wanted to make sure that we definitely recognize our people and give them their flowers while they're here. It's very important that we boost each other up with love. And I just want to just lastly say to the Inkster City Council, thank you. Thank you. You guys, you don't get that enough just as a group. We hold each other accountable. I know that, it's just stuff that's happening. It's what it is, but we are here to do a job. And I know being a council person is tough, but I just want to just say thank you for the support and even these meetings and going this long tonight. The reason why we did that because Verna told me that if I had this meeting on the night of November the 7th, so that's why all this stuff is on the agenda tonight. So if it's not really, really pressing and time sensitive for November the 7th, we know that our job is to vote on November 8th. So, we do have the city's business to conduct, so we will be still conducting the city's business. However, that's why we had a long meeting tonight. So if all minds are satisfied, motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. I'm sorry. No, I heard. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah.
You need to thank these diehards out there, kid, because they stuck with you.
Oh, no. They know that all the time. Thank you, right. Motion to adjourn? All right. Everybody else stay. Thank you, guys.